They used to tell me I was building a dream with peace and glory ahead. Why should I be standing in line, just waiting for bread? Once in khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell, and I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember, they called me Al. It was Al all the time. Why don't you remember, I'm your pal. Say, buddy, can you spare a dime?
So does everyone remember where they were last time? Because for me, it always feels like we were playing yesterday, but I know for you guys, it's used to actually like doing stuff.
I remember we went to the I remember the last session was just chock full of shenanigans that just constantly kept on spiraling out of control. But I remember we ended up at the hospital because we were trying to confront the nurse.
Yeah, you just went in and you just went up to the ward. You guys snuck into the back of the nurse's station.
Paul saw the poster.
Photograph ID.
Yeah, photo. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a photo up
Angela.
for a Jane Doe, and he recognised it as being similar to the photograph that Rocky had shown him previously. And then when you left and went outside to the car park after Gerta had been kicked in the chest and all that, and then Paul had said that he'd just turn around and tell Rocky that of what he saw.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the last part.
So it's.
I mean, I knew he saw it, but I couldn't remember if he actually told him.
I imagine just Rocky's face just suddenly goes. I imagine, like, how did his face go when he get told that? Because I imagine it could either be like just incredible anger or just goes ghost white.
That's that's a question. I hadn't thought of that actually.
Or just dumbfounded, speechless, like what?
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely stunned for one thing.
Or denial, like just disbelieving me entirely.
Yeah, but it's the Monday evening because it was after Gerta had finished work that he came here. And this is where you are outside the hospital. I don't know if they had like a proper parking lot at this point. There was a lot of vehicles around. But you would definitely be out front where the vehicles are parked and where ambulances are coming in and such. But yes, I guess it's on Rocky, because how you react to this.
Yeah, are you sure it was her or just someone who looked kind of like her?
Wait, do you have your photo on you? Over.
Yeah, of course, here.
Well, let's see it.
Rocky will fish it out and show it to him.
And sort of, if Paul can, you'll probably take it, give it a really look, go and just sort of, tap his fingers off of the photo. This is who I saw.
So obviously in the photograph he has, she's a lot more kind of vibrant, full of life, probably smiling. Whereas the one you looked at, she looks drained, tired, been through the bushes kind of thing. But it is recognisably her.
It's not the same photo. This one, at least she's alive. The other one, I don't think she was planning for the photo to be taken. Let's put it that way, mate.
Yeah. I think I just need a minute. And Rocky's gonna go back into the hospital.
I think Paul would follow after you because he'd probably be concerned at what's he going to do.
So I think Gerta was the only one that was escorted out. I think the rest of you just walked out. So walking back in, you guys, there's not going to be any reaction immediately. There's just going to be a receptionist and people waiting to get seen. What about you, Gerta? Are you going to go with them when you hear this?
I think I'll just wait outside.
Really? I mean, you didn't know that Angela as closely as Nancy did, but you knew her and Nancy.
Yeah, but I feel like I caused a scene. Well, maybe actually I could go back in again. Does anyone have a hat that I can wear to just kind of cover up?
Been men
Paul
of,
might have a bonnet, but I don't think that'll work well on you.
I mean, men of this age often were wearing hats of some description.
I mean, there might be a hat in my car, but not sure how good it would. Probably be like a sort of like a fedora type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just go in. I may as well.
So Rocky walks in, Paul and Gerta follow. Are you going in with them as well, Eric?
Yeah, I guess everybody else is going in. I'll go in as well.
Yeah, so we're all tailing in, Rocky. So you knew that the ward you were on there was on the second floor. It was Ward 3, and it was in the East Wing.
Yeah. I'll make my way back to that room. Kind of as directly as possible. Like.
Yeah, so you're going back up where you just came from, basically. The nurse, Charlotte Hemming, is not there when you come up to the nurse's station. You can see there's another nurse there, and she's standing talking to an orderly. Sort of mid-conversation when you just walk in through the door onto the level.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to completely ignore them and try to walk to where Paul saw the poster. I gotta visually confirm it myself.
So this is actually visiting hours now, so it's not out of place for you to be walking along the wards at this point. But obviously, the nurse's station itself, you're not allowed, behind the desk or anything like that, and the woman is standing there talking to the orderly.
Yep, just completely ignoring them. I have to see the photo for myself.
Okay, so as you start going back, she's like, excuse me, sir, you're not allowed back here. This is the nurse's station.
Just completely brush past her if I can.
Yeah, you push past her in there. The orderly comes up behind you. He's like, sir, you're not allowed there. He'll step in after you.
Does he grab me or?
Yeah,
okay.
he's going to step in behind you. He'll put an arm on your hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, unless I absolutely have to fight, I'm going to do my best to see the photo for myself. So I'm gonna try to like get out of his grip. I have to see the photo.
Yeah, you're just kind of wiggling out of your jacket top, your suit top. And then he's like trying to grab you. It's like, sir, please, is there something we can do for you? You can't be back here. But you're able to push past and get just your body, your head, into the room that you were in previously. And there you can see on the wall to the right hand side, there's a couple of Jane Does that are listed, a couple of different photographs of different patients, and one of them sitting at the top on the right hand side does indeed look like Angela.
And it's like it's not just one of those things where it could be Angela, could not be Angela. It's 100% just hits me.
I think
it's Angela.
Yeah, I think you would know off the bat.
Rocky fucking breaks down. His legs go weak and he just kind of crumbles and just is, shouting out, no, 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 no.
the orderly has like wrapped his arms around you to try and just like grapple you and drag you out. As he said, "Sir, is there a problem? What's wrong?"
Paul will probably just sort of come in. It's just like, oh, Billy, Dad, sorry, there he is. He's hysterical. I'm sorry, I tried to keep on him. We just, his wife's just totally off a rocker, and he's not taking it well, mate.
The nurse standing just outside the station is looking between the two of you, kind of anxiously.
Look, I'll take him away. Like, just, I'm sorry, he's been caused a problem. Please give him sympathy.
So the orderly yanks him out. But he's trying not to harm him. He's just trying to move him out of the area he's not meant to be in. It's like, are you all right, sir? Is there someone we can call for you?
I'll get it sorted. You've been fantastic, pal. You've been absolutely brilliant. Come on, Billy. Come on. Trying to take Rourke, try and get him away.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to stop you from doing that at all. They're just looking, they've got a look of concern on their faces. You know, they're here to help people.
Yeah, I think once the orderly kind of passes me off to Paul, I think like Rocky is just he's kind of quieted down, but he's broken. Yeah, he's just barely shuffling alongside Paul.
So I don't know if this was confused, but I want to make this clear that the people that have got like their pictures up on this board, they're not people that are dead. They are like patients in the ward.
I thought.
Yeah. No.
Oh, whoops.
I think you could maybe reword it, like you're probably shouting at them, like, see my wife, I want to see my wife, and that way Paul was still trying to like calm you down and pull you away.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, I'm sorry, I got that completely twisted in my head. My bad. Yeah, no. In that case, yeah.
No, because dead people would be in the morgue, not in the ward.
Yeah, I definitely don't know how hospitals work. Yeah, no, yeah, Rocky's not. In that case, yeah, he's definitely going to be like trying to. I mean, Paul still got the photo, but he's definitely going to be like trying to point at the photo and is like, I need to see her.
Okay, so in that case, the orderly, when we're like, see who, sir? I'm not sure what you're indicating here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to point at the picture of the Jane Doe, like in the room.
Oh, okay, sir. Right. Okay, so you're saying you know this woman?
Yeah. It's my wife, Angela.
Right. Okay. All right, sir. I'll need to ask you to step out of this room. I'm going to take the ID off the board here. Okay. Let's take it out into the hallway where there's better light and we can have a look at it. So he takes you out to the desk. He lays the thing down. He gets the file out for the patient, or asks the nurse to get the file out for the patient. And he says, "Okay, so this is your wife, and you didn't know that she was admitted here, or I mean, how did you know? Are you here looking for her?"
Yeah, I've been looking all up and down this damn city.
Right, okay. I'm going to leave you here with the nurse, sir. But just please stay calm and we'll get this sorted. If this is your wife, then congratulations, you found her.
Yeah.
The nurse is quite a small woman with curly brown hair, tied back. She steps up. Okay, sir. I'm going to have to go fetch a doctor. They'll need to speak to you about the patient's condition, and we'll see if we can get this sorted. Do you have any kind of identification on you? Do you have anything to identify the Jane Doe?
I mean, I have my information. She would have. I mean, she probably would have had her purse on her, but if she doesn't, then There might be something out at our house. I'm sorry. It's been a day.
I can quite understand, sir. She looks through the file. She's like, okay, well, it doesn't appear that she had any belongings on her when she arrived. She's not been able to give us her name or her address or anything we can use to identify her with, which is why she's been listed as the Jane Doe. What relation are you to her?
Her husband.
Right, okay. So if you could bring in, if you don't have it on you, if you could bring in your identification, something of hers, it'd be even better if you could bring in a sibling or a mother or something like a parent, to confirm the identification so it's not just yourself. And then perhaps, a birth certificate, marriage certificate, something like that we could use just to confirm that you are who you say you are.
Right. Can I not see her until I have all that, or?
She's like looking up and down the board. I don't really have the authority to let you do that just now. I could take you down the ward and you could look her up from outside the room if you want, but I can't let you make contact with her just now until we verify you are who you say you are.
Sure, that's fine. I just need to know that she's alive. It's been days.
No, I can totally understand. Are these all your friends that are with you, or are any of you related to her?
No, I don't think so. They're just friends of mine.
Okay, sir. What did you say your name was?
Rourke Rickaby.
Rourke Rickaby. Okay, and this is your wife, so her name is what?
Angela Rickaby.
Angela Rickaby. Okay. Okay, if you want to just follow me, sir. It's down this way. She takes you down the right-hand corridor.
Yeah, and following it as eagerly as possible.
Sure. So you used to go past about 3 different rooms, and on the 4th room on the left-hand side, there's a glass door that's open, and there's 2 glass panels, windows you can look through. There's 4 beds in the room. There's 2 people lying in the beds, and the one on the left-hand side, the nurse indicates that's the Jane Doe. She's lying, face up, arms by her side. She's been restrained, and she's got a cover over her, and she's just staring upwards at the ceiling.
But she's breathing. She's
breathing. She's alive. Yes.
Sorry. Why is she restrained?
She was having delusional episodes. She can become quite agitated at times. I think the doctor has her sedated just now. But even when between these kind of lucid states where she gets quite I wouldn't say violent, but when she gets delirious and starts acting out, between those states she doesn't seem all there. I believe if I look at the chart, the doctor thinks she's suffered some kind of serious trauma or head injury.
Has she been saying, like, what kind of delusions? Has she said anything?
Paranoid delusions, people coming after her, men without faces. Fairly atypical for these kind of injuries.
Right. Just hearing Nancy's voice in my head playing over and over and over again, and just like, simultaneously happy that Angela's alive and still extremely terrified that whatever Nancy went through, she's gone through.
But yes, if I could take you back to the station and maybe get you to fill out a form ahead of you bringing in the needed documents. It'd be really useful if you could bring in a second person to identify her.
Yeah.
A sibling,
Yeah.
a parent, a relative, a close friend, a professional colleague, anyone of that nature.
Yeah, she and I don't really have much in the way of family, but I'll if I take a second to look, think about it, maybe I can find someone. Sorry, it's under a lot of stress today.
No, of course, of course. So she take it back along to the nurse station. She gets fill out a small form where you're just filling out personal details of yourself and her. Questions about if there's any unique physical features you could use to identify her. Past history, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I try to give everything that I can give, but I also feel like Rocky kind of like he's pretty sure that Angela has lots of friends, but he doesn't really know or interact with any of them because it's just sort of like that's her thing. She can run off, do whatever, hang out with whoever. I just
So there's
whatever,
also
happy wife, happy life sort of thing.
There's also questions about the circumstances under which she went missing. Was there arguments? Was it an accident? Was she under influence of anything?
Like I said, Rocky's being very unusually honest with all these kind of questions. He's like, I don't think she was under the influence of anything. We hadn't fought or argued for a while, and certainly nothing that would that I would hope would break anything up. Little arguments, things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, just trying to be as helpful as he can without incriminating himself. Like, yes, no, I am a criminal.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything while this is all going on?
Well, imagine Paul's beside Rourke with this, so supporting Rourke.
Almost call me Billy.
That's going to be Paul's affectionate nickname for you because he knows that you seem to change your name on a regular basis.
Well,
What is his real name? Okay, so Paul's just sort of stand by side, ready to be supportive, yeah.
Yes.
What about you, Gerta, since you've already been here and that nurse basically assaulted you? She's not here at the moment, but, she could come back at any minute.
Maybe look at the walls to see if there's anything, on the walls near the desk.
Anything like what?
Just anything that's like wording or anything, like photos of anyone that I would recognize.
No photographs. It'll be like shift schedules, sign-ins for guests, visitors, patients that have been outpatients and such. But yeah, do you want to give me a roll? I'm not sure what skill you have. What's that for?
Oh, I thought you
what
said
skill?
just give me a roll.
But what skill?
Oh, okay. Intuition or understand?
Well, investigation skills it would be.
Document analysis, textual analysis.
Are you clever or quick?
I am quick and strong-willed.
Are you learned?
Learned.
Yeah.
I'm learned.
Okay, so roll another dice for learned. Yeah, so you would notice Charlotte Henning, that seems to be the ward, the shift that she's primarily focused on. Her name's on a lot of the shift schedules. You can notice that Jane Doe, you're not sure if it's the same one, was signed in on Friday, the early hours of Friday morning, and the doctor that admitted her was a Dr. James Cavendish.
Okay, Dr. James Cavendish.
Cavendish, yeah. What about you, Eric? Is there anything you want to do?
I think I would probably just be waiting with Paul at this point. I mean, I don't know. Did I see the nurse Charlotte in the previous game? I mean, I would if I knew what she looked like, I would probably just be kind of checking, like keeping an eye out in case she comes back and like recognizes any of us. But
I think you saw and or talked to her at the medical tent before.
right, okay, yeah. In that case, I would probably be trying to keep an eye out to make sure that she doesn't come back and recognize us or anything. But other than that, I think I would just wait with Paul.
Okay, are you like actively keeping watch at the doorways or the stairwell or the elevator for her, or are you just, you know, looking around every now and again to see if she's coming?
Probably just looking around every now and again. I mean, I would probably be primarily just trying to wait with them because I feel like this is a point where people are going to need support, but at the same time, just trying to keep an eye out in case there's any obvious signs of trouble.
Do you have surveillance as a skill?
Just a second. Yes, I have surveillance.
Do you have trained or clever? Or quick?
I have trained, yes.
Okay, so roll 2 dice for me. Yeah, because you're not like actively posted, you don't see her until she steps out of the elevator. But as soon as she steps out of the elevator, you catch sight of Charlotte Henning, the nurse, coming onto this floor. And she is only, you know, all she has to do is turn around and she will see all of you standing here at the nurse's station while Rocky is filling out the form.
I think I will try and discreetly warn everybody that Charlotte's coming, just to kind of like turn away and try and make ourselves look a bit less conspicuous.
I just like grab Paul and then just bury my head in his stomach because I'm so small.
I'll put my coat over you, like I'm trying to console you at a difficult time.
Okay, so he's instantly going into like the fake grieving people mode. Charlotte turns, you know, sees you all. I don't think she hasn't seen Rickaby before, has she?
No. This whole shenanigans was mostly her.
Yeah, so she'll turn and then she'll walk over and she's standing next to you, Rickaby, her back to Eric and Gerta. I can't side onto Paul. She starts asking the other nurse, what's going on here? And she's telling her that somebody's came in, they've recognised the Jane Doe. And then Nurse Herring's kind of like, oh, okay. I'll go inform Dr. Cavendish. He's upstairs in his office. And she just kind of gives Rocky a gentle pat on the arm as she leaves.
I'll just kind of give a simple small nod, appreciation. But I'm definitely like, trying to keep an ear out for what she says and making mental notes. In character, I'm pretty sure Rocky remembers this, but out of character, I know the name James Cavendish, but I can't remember where Rocky would know him.
That was the business card that you found in Charlotte Henning's locker.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
He's
sorry.
hospital, or one of the hospital directors.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of which doctor is which.
Yeah, the other one was Dr. Combs that you spoke to before.
That's the one. Okay, yeah.
So, whether this means anything or not, Eric, is up to your interpretation, but Henning steals a quick look back at you all, just for a moment longer than she would need to for any reason, really, before she steps into the elevator again.
Right, okay.
You finish filling out the form, Rocky, and the nurse is, she's like, okay, well, that's great, sir. You can come back at any time. I've let the other nurse know. She's going to go let the doctor know. And you should be able to come back in. Just tell them at reception why you're here, and they should be able to direct you where you need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Hopefully, you'll come back soon and we can put Angela back into your care and everything will work itself out.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be back around here more often. I'll turn and just kind of like, uh, I mean, I don't know what we all need to do. I know for one thing, we know that the nurse is still hiding something, and that Cavendish is involved. But I kind of really need to get this whole visiting thing situated so I could, have my wife back.
Yeah, I guess we need to leave for now and come back again later.
I mean, thanks for helping me out. I can't thank you guys enough, to be fair.
One step at a time, but do we know who done this to her?
It's this same kind of things that Nancy was saying. The men without faces. I mean, I thought Nancy was just covering. Well, it was like that the guys that took her were just covering their faces, but like all the people in Tin City and Red Hook were like had said something about faceless people too. So whatever it is, it's got to be connected.
Okay, so if you are going down to leave the hospital, where to now? Still early evening on the Monday. Oh, there's a newspaper line on the nurse's station. I may say this. The Brooklyn Eagle, just lying out that someone had been reading. Does anyone want to pick it up and look at it? Well, they're kind of waiting for Rocky to fill in the form.
I think Paul would. Because he's just there supporting, Rocky as much as he can. So Paul will pick up the newspaper to read through while he's waiting.
So this is the front page, which is the actual front page of the newspaper that day. You might skim through it, there's nothing too much there. But you skim through a few pages just to see if there's any interesting kind of local news. And then something does jump out at you. This clipping.
Ah, right. Okay, I was still looking at that front page because I hadn't realised you changed the page.
So the title is Banker's Wife Body Discovered. Police to Real Death is Suspicious. Man Wanted for Questioning.
Oh, fuck.
It's a story by Harold Priestley describing how a woman's body was found in early hours of Sunday morning at an apartment in Red Hook. It was a body of Mrs. Nancy Carver.
Well, fuck.
Paul stops, sees the full name, folds the paper and sticks it under his arm.
Yes, it gives brief details about the circumstances that her body was found and her husband. And then there's a small paragraph at the bottom that's been added in that says, additional inquiries suggest that Mrs. Angela Rickaby, another resident of the apartment, may also be missing. She is also a volunteer charity worker at Red Hook, and this disappearance marks only the latest in a spate of deaths of missing persons in the area. Yes, Paul, you'll have that information as you go back down the stairs.
Yeah, and he'd probably sort of smack Rourke in the chest with the newspaper and advise him to read it. Like, probably have his finger on the actual article and just say, "You need to read this."
What are you talking? What do you? Oh fuck. Oh right. Fuck.
The other thing I was wanting Paul to do was, do you recognise any other names, Paul, from the clipping?
The full page one, or just this little clipping?
The clipping. The full page one is just for flavour.
The author of the story sounds familiar.
Yes, that was the reporter that was trying to talk to you in Tin City.
Ah, right. The creepy one.
Yeah, the one that you ran away from.
It looks like that name's familiar. Can't even remember who for it though. But that name is familiar. Probably one of the people we've bumped into. You know, Paul mentions out about the author.
I don't know if Rocky had any encounter with the guy. Like,
Yeah, Gerta, I mean, you can see the paper if they're passing it around. Once you get back to the car, I imagine.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't have it in attachments.
Oh, I thought it popped up for everyone. Hang on.
Nope.
See it now?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
It's out for your blood.
Oh shit. Hey, it's almost, like running away from the cops is kind of a bad idea.
Who knew? They have your full name.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It's my house.
Yeah, he lives there.
Literally all my shit is there.
I imagine the doorman is like, oh yeah, his wife is missing too.
Probably, yeah, for sure. Oh boy. Damn, I just had to be singularly obsessed with saving my wife. I just couldn't drop this lady off at the hospital. Nope.
Blinders, just so focused.
Plus, it's the banker's wife as well, so that's like.
He's got
Yeah.
money.
He's the former banker.
Yeah.
The United States Bank actually went bust a few years ago. In this.
Oh, right, yeah, because it's the fucking prohibition. Or not prohibition, depression, yeah.
Wasn't the prohibition also during the recession too?
Yes, the prohibition is still
Yeah,
in
it kind
effect.
of was. A little bit of overlap, yeah.
This year and the next year are kind of when prohibition ends.
I just saw the what's called the business visit from people from the fishing lodge project. Are they the fish people? It's in the article. That's why I'm just like above.
Oh. I think you said that was just, like, for flavor.
Oh, I mean, the rest of the clipping is just part of the default thing that's there. I gave you the actual newspaper front page as well if you're interested.
They're interested in the fishing lodge project. That's like suspicious.
Yeah. So, yes, Rickaby is confronted with this. And obviously that nurse has not read that news section yet.
And she's not gonna.
Yep, we've taken the one and only newspaper that likely has my name on it, yep.
There's only
Oh,
limited
boy.
help that Paul can do. It's just like, Rourke's right here. We're talking about his name. Let's maybe not have the piece of paper someone here could read.
Yep. Let's skedaddle.
It must be another Rourke Rickaby.
Yep.
It's also looking for his wife called Angela.
Yep.
That is such a, common name, isn't
What a
it?
coinky dink.
Yeah, what a coinkydink. Oh, fuck, what do I do? Oh, jeez.
Yes, what do you do?
Put the fedora on, hide your face.
All right. No, I mean, it's been a couple of days. I mean, you all are free to do whatever you want. I'm probably gonna try to go back to my home, and if the cops don't just, grab me there, I'll try to at least get a visit from my wife as soon as possible.
Well, I was thinking another idea that you could have done. You could bribe someone to call themselves your name, and they take the blame instead.
Find some homeless person, say like, "Hey,
Yeah,
get you in prison."
Pretty much, like give them money, and then like they could help their family, and then they could go to jail instead of you.
Rocky just looks at Gerda and is just like blinks for a second. Is like, who do you work for again?
Well, the homeless person might be like one, shelter.
Right.
Gerta is so mean.
Also, I don't have that much money. Like, I kind of need to rob a bank first, or, do some other less than legal work in order to get that sort of money. Because I mean, I don't know if you know how
why don't you
expensive my
just go
apartment
in?
is, but it's expensive.
Why don't you just go in and just like, say to them the truth, what happened, and tell them the truth, because you've got nothing to lose. Well, you have to lose,
Well,
but at the same time, you've not done anything wrong.
right, but the truth is also a little weird at the moment. So how about this? How about I just, try to sneak into my apartment and grab some shit, and hopefully the police don't grab me. If they do grab me, then I'll tell them the truth. But if they don't, and I can avoid talking to the police as long as possible, that'd be great.
How about then we all go with you, and then we go to the apartment and scope it out, and then if it's all clear, then go in, grab stuff.
Right, but the problem is like, you guys might also get arrested if it's a bit of a sting operation.
We could just be saying that we're visiting people in the apartments.
I mean, I'm not your parents, so I'm not gonna tell you what to do. You know, if you have things you got to take care of, families to see and take care of, by all means, go do it. But if you're aware of the risks of sticking around with me, then sure.
On your head, so be it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be responsible if you get arrested because you're sticking around me.
Well, I knew Nancy, so I could just be saying like I'm visiting her.
Her corpse in my apartment.
So, I mean, Gerta as well, at the moment, I mean, when did you learned that Lancy died from her husband and the way
Yeah.
he reacted to Rocky when he saw him. And now you're reading in a newspaper that she was actually found in Rocky's apartment. So, I mean, this is like news to you. You didn't know this
No,
before.
okay. Oh, okay. I could go to Rickaby's because I was friends with Angela to see if she's back.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you've just now learned of the connection to Rocky to Nancy's like death, disappearance, discovery of her body. And he hadn't mentioned it to you before. I don't think.
No, I did not.
No, so you're just learning all this for the first time. So you don't that's what you don't know what his connection to this is.
A bit suspicious. No. I
mean,
think
Go ahead.
I asked him what happened.
Right. I don't really know exactly what happened. I just I was out late at night trying to just watch the bus station and see what I could see, because that's the last place that anybody saw either Nancy or Angela. And I saw Nancy just stumbling down the road, looking like she had just been beaten or hurt. What I should have done was take her to the hospital, but because she was the last person that I knew had to have seen Angela alive, I tried to help her and took her to my apartment. And she started to choke on something.
What did she choke on?
I don't know. It was already in sight of her. But when she started to choke, I tried to help her.
Was it sick?
It was. I think it was something alive. But because I tried to help pull whatever it was out of her throat, and it moved, and then it crawled down her throat, and she still couldn't breathe, and then she just died, suffocated.
I think like Gerta needs to take like 10 minutes with this.
Which interpersonal skills do you have, Gerta?
I have understanding, learned,
No, that's
and
the traits,
strong-willed.
the interpersonal skills like authority,
Oh,
deception, all that.
interpersonal. Intuition and negotiation. I've got the occult as well.
Intuition and understanding, you can roll 2 dice for me. Okay, you can 100% tell that Rocky he fully believes everything he's saying. Whether what he witnessed or interpreted is actually the truth of what happened, you don't know, but everything he's telling you, you can tell that he is 100% genuine, that he believes it happened that way.
I can see now that you can't go to the police about this now. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. What are you going to do about Angela? As in, do you think you'll be able to still visit her?
I think so. I mean, depends on if how quick I am and how quick the police are.
Are you not nervous that whatever was inside Nancy is inside Angela? Are you not thinking, yeah, that you want to be near her, or
not near her.
not near her?
No, I definitely have thought about that. But she's alive, so maybe the doctors can help get it out of her. If the same thing that was in Nancy is in her, then she's at a hospital. So and she's alive, so I know she's safe.
I have an idea. You can stay in the church, and we can get like holy water to see if that'll work. Holy water might, it might flush it out of her system. I'll get the father to bless it.
I mean no disrespect, Gerda. Not exactly big on religion.
I think though, if you have it blessed and then, and then she drinks it, say a little prayer, maybe that'll work,
I really think I'd rather put my faith behind a trained medical professional. I really mean no disrespect, but I just don't think.
So, also Paul and Eric, I mean, you guys were with Rocky and he was talking about, doing some things that were less than legal and such. And you were a little kind of unsure about his intentions and stuff to begin with anyway. Especially after the man pulling the gun out on him. Although Rocky did try and explain that afterwards. But then now you're also seeing that the police are after him in the newspaper. So, I mean, how are you guys feeling about being around such a person and the circumstances of what might have happened to Nancy and Angela?
I think for Paul specifically, he's probably starting to think that he maybe imagined the whole horror elements and he's accidentally supporting a murderer. Because the only creepy things that he has directly seen is the bodies washed up and then the things that he constantly imagines that happens, the spooky stuff that happens to him, that has happened to him for the many years since Scotland.
Yeah.
So it's probably starting to get suspicious of Rourke.
What about you, Eric? How does this kind of play on your instincts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be. I feel like there is definitely some kind of connection in everything that's been going on between this and the bodies turning up at Tin City, but at the same time, I don't really trust Rickaby fully. I feel like it's not impossible that he is on the level, but I also think that, yeah, he is not someone that we really want to be entirely associated with. I think I would be very hesitant about being around a known criminal who is quite obviously a wanted man. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be sympathetic and everything, but at the same time, I am kind of, I don't want to commit to anything that would very obviously get me in hot water with the police.
Would you two be a little concerned about Gerta going off with him, and you maybe don't want her to go off with him on her own?
Yeah, I think I would be quite concerned for Gerta at this point as well. Yeah, I would probably be looking to Paul, like, you know, should we say something? I mean,
That's the thing. I think Paul would want to probably keep with Gerta to be sort of protective of her, even with her very bizarre statements about how to treat the homeless by throwing them in jail.
Yeah, y'all talk about me. Y'all talk about me being the criminal. Fucking Gerda over here, like no. Will Smith is
I thought she was more kind of like it's a place for to stay and like help family, because like people do that all the time, and like yeah.
Yes, let's frame an innocent man with murder.
Yeah, let's pay this man money so that he can spend it in jail. Oh wait, he can't. That's why Rocky was like, "Who do you work for again?"
But so for just now, is Rocky going to go back to his flat then, or at least attempt to?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going there. Gerta's going along to help to see what happens, and Eric and Paul are going along because they're not entirely sure that Rocky's 100% here.
I will say, because Rocky did promise to pay them, he would have, he would have taken out $10 for each of them out of his personal stash. So that's 10 for Eric, Paul, and Gerda.
10 between them?
Each.
Wow, okay.
Okay, wow, that's a hell of a payday.
This guy's loaded.
Yeah, that's big, man.
I mean, I had $58. I don't think I'm gonna live or last too much longer with the police on me. So here we go.
I think this would only add to the suspicion for Paul. Like, this is a lot of money for not much work.
Yeah, I mean, all you did was drive around with him in the car most of the day.
Yeah, well, I'm also not exactly making the best decisions ever, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are acutely aware you could end up working a whole week and not get $10. Like, that's a lot of money for nothing.
Yeah, however, Paul's definitely not going to turn down, because that's a lot of money that they direly need.
Yeah, so Rocky hands out the riches and you drive off down to the south end of Red Hook, Brooklyn, where he stays. And it's a nicer area. It's more upmarket. The buildings are very well kept. You can see there's a concierge at the front. There's no police vehicle. There's no policemen obviously standing outside the building.
Okay, well, I'll just kind of like look down the street. Any cars that may or may look like stakeout or anything like that?
You get scene analysis or surveillance?
I have both.
And a trait that might apply?
Clever, quick. I guess clever.
Clever, okay, so 2 dice.
Oh, and train. Oh no, it's combat.
As long as this one doesn't matter.
Yeah, you said 2 dice.
That'll be 2, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to stand around looking around too much, because then you'll start looking suspicious yourself, but no, it doesn't appear to be anyone watching the front door.
Okay, well, I will try to very briskly make my way inside.
Is this
Get to my apartment.
just on your own? You just try to do this quick or what?
I mean, if whoever's following me is following me, that's not gonna, that's on them. But
I'm just trying to I'm just trying to visualize how noticeable you might be on your own compared to in a group.
Yeah, I'm going by myself, but if somebody else is following me, then yeah.
Okay, so you're out in front,
change things.
striding in quickly, briskly. Are you making any attempt to hide yourself, disguise yourself?
I mean, other than like jacket and hat, probably not. Just kind of like keep the collar of my jacket up, and kind of tuck my head in.
Are you quick?
Yes.
Okay, roll a dice for me.
I only have 2 luck left, so.
Okay, so you try to get in through the revolving door as quickly as possible, keep your head down, your hat pulled over as you go past the concierge so he doesn't recognise you, so you can make your way to the elevator or the stairway up to your apartment. Unfortunately, for what somebody's left a bit of trash or something, or something's fallen out of someone's pocket, and when you try to push the revolving door to get in very quickly, it just jams. And you actually have to call over the concierge to unjam the other side of the door for you so that you can actually get into the building. And as he does so, he catches your face and there's just an expression of surprise and recognition there as he, recognizes you. Oh, Mr. Rickaby. Wasn't expecting you back so quickly, sir.
Yep, and just between you and me, I don't think I was here, and I'll drop another fucking $10 in his hand. And hope to God my bribes work.
Do you have an interpersonal skill that might work with that? Charm, flattery, intimidation?
Intimidation. And streetwise, but yeah.
Okay, roll 2 dice again.
I'm just imagining you intimidating him, going, "You fucking didn't," and stuffing a $10 into his jacket pocket.
Here's $10. If you talk, I come back for the $10 and also your kneecaps. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, takes your $10 and he nods. He says, "Of course, sir. Didn't see a thing."
But just as that happens, another doorman appears.
Of course, sir.
This is the first time I've ever heard Paul swear.
Paul's
Yes.
not there at the moment. Well, he's not the one interacting.
Yeah, you guys are kind of comments with him. So yes, he's going to say, "Yes, sir. Didn't see a thing." Puts the $10 in his pocket and walks over behind his desk.
I forget. You can't, like... I suppose, like, I can't add 2 luck to that 2 and make it a 4 in success? Or is that no?
You can do that, yes.
That's all of my luck, though. Fuck it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be, can I trust him? For how long can I trust him? Shit.
Yeah.
But yes, for now at least, he's not reaching for the telephone.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, yeah. I'll just... All right, with that out of the way.
You could take the elevator, you could take the stairwell. What would you prefer?
Take the elevator.
So you're all going to pile in this elevator together, go up to your floor, whatever that is. Door opens, you step into the lobby, hallway. There's no tape, there's no cop. Your door looks to be closed. You walk up to it and it's not been locked, but it has been closed over and kind of just pulled shut.
Yeah, try to leave as little evidence as possible that I'm entering, but I'll just try to get in. If it's unavoidable, it's unavoidable. I'll try to just open up the door and walk inside.
Sure. So inside, and you can see everything's pretty much as you left it the other night. The only thing that looks a little different is the spot where Nancy's body, where you'd last left it. There's a big pool of dried blood in the carpet.
Wait, that's not right. she choked to death. There wasn't any blood. I mean, it's way past the event, but like, could I try to discern where the blood like came from or why?
Got a forensic analysis, Jav?
No, just scene analysis.
You'd be looking for, like blood and stuff. Like you could be figuring out if there's a blood trail or something.
More forensics.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's. Yeah.
You could do a scene analysis in Clever though if you want to try and get an idea of like what's been moved, what's been changed.
Yeah, because if she choked to death, there wouldn't really, in theory, there under normal circumstances, there's no reason for blood. Oh my god.
Yes, the location where the blood is strongly indicates that the body was moved, perhaps flipped over, rolled over, and then, in that location is where all the blood is. Because you can see where she fell and where things were knocked over, the indentation, and that's not exactly where this blood is. And the blood's an unusual pattern as well. It's not just like a big pool that's spilled out in one direction. It's kind of spattered all over the place in the kind of local area.
What the fuck?
For the rest of you, you weren't expecting to see any blood because he didn't mention anything about there being blood. He said that she suffocated.
I just have to say, out of character, I love how this is all twisting really, really suspiciously. I fucking love it.
I can just imagine it's just like Paul stares at the blood for a while, and then just the slow pan over to Rourke.
You don't have the Mythos skill, do you, Paul?
No.
I do. Have the occult.
I know you've got a cult.
Just skills. It's wilderness, natural history, and scene analysis.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can probably infer pretty much kind of what Rocky is as well, that something's been moved from where a person has fallen. They're not in the same location.
But it's one of those things, like, I don't know if Rourke perhaps moved the body.
Of course, yeah, you weren't there.
Yeah.
Was she bleeding when she was coughing?
No. She had like small cuts and bruises, but she wasn't bleeding. Not this much. She was coughing and she fell over there. She fell here. She died in my arms right here.
Had you been drinking?
I know what it looks like. I promise you. I swear.
There are like smash drinks bowls and drink glasses because that did happen.
Yeah, that did definitely happen. Definitely. Yeah, which is why Rocky answered the way he did. I was trying to ask her questions and she was hysterical and delirious and paranoid, and it took a while before she calmed down. And then when she did, I let her go. And then I went to grab her a glass of water, and that's when she started choking. And I tried to help her. I even called her an ambulance, trying to help her. I'm not a doctor. And she just stopped fucking breathing. And I couldn't get it out. And when the ambulance showed up, they wanted to call the police, and I knew exactly how it looks, and I left. I ran. They know I've got a little bit of a record. They would have just put two together and assumed that I killed her, and then that would have been it. Close and shut case. I would have been sent away. Nothing I could say or do would have changed that. But the blood wasn't here when I left.
What do you think, Eric?
Can I roll an intuition to see if I get a handle on whether I think Rocky is telling the truth or not?
Sure. Do you have a trait that might apply as well?
Just a second. I have understanding, if that would feed into it.
Yes, that would be perfect.
So is that 2 dice?
2 dice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he sounds, he's got that sort of hint of desperation in his voice, as if, and maybe you've kind of become accustomed to hearing that where you live, you know, where everything is just going wrong and falling around you, and that kind of helplessness you feel as you're trying to just, you know, work your way through it, and just begging for someone to listen and give you a chance. So he does sound like, to you, he's genuine. It's highly suspicious, and you don't know this person. So he could be a really good liar, especially if he's a criminal. But in the moment, he sounds genuine.
Yeah, and in that case, I'll probably say to the Gerta that, you know, for what it's worth, I actually believe him. I mean, I don't know what this man may have done in the past, but right now it does sound to me like he's telling us what actually happened.
I kind of feel reassured because, you know, and I feel, you know, Eric tells the truth, so.
Do you have... Sorry, does anyone have forensic analysis as a skill?
Nope.
Sadly not. Only document analysis.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing someone who could unearth something else.
Oh man, that's just awful. Now we know there's something here. We can't
Well, I mean,
find it.
it's there, but you just lack the skill set to actually, determine and interpret it.
It's
that still
understanding.
sucks.
We know something is wrong here. We just don't know how to see it.
Yeah.
And if you go better on the other rolls, I would have probably given you it anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. No, it makes sense. Like, all of us are like, this is fucked, but we don't know why or how.
It's not something that would have told you anything if they just keep trying more.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
but
can't
there's
use
a voice in the back of my head that's like, nah, you fucked up. You should have took forensic analysis.
I still feel like you could use the occult movie.
It's not a cult. Okay, Gerta, so I mean, you have a cult and you're seeing the blood. Is your natural instinct to try and see if this has been some sort of occult practice or ritual that's been performed?
Yes, because, previously
So
she had...
To give context, are you sure you're coming in here and thinking Satanists done this?
Well, he's saying about something coming out of someone's, throat, and then there's the blood and all the crazy things that have been going on in Tin City. So I think she's starting to believe, something's not quite right.
Being the religious person that she is, you're not thinking in terms of like monsters, you're thinking in terms of like demons, evil spirits, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay, so I think you have clever as well, so why don't you roll 2 dice? Yeah, I mean, you have like a passing knowledge of occult practices and the kind of things to look out for, the hexes and such. But this doesn't look to be ceremonial in any way. There's no pattern to it. There's nothing that's been scratched or etched or drawn anywhere. So no, this to you, this definitely, well, this doesn't seem to be an occult thing, unless it's some, unless your skill set just isn't that advanced.
Okay.
So if anything, it just seems more confusing to you. But you can rule out occult, most likely.
It looks like she's been murdered. I'm not saying she's murdered. I'm not saying she's murdered by you, but it just looks like she's been murdered.
Yeah, I know it looks like that. But she choked to death. She didn't.
Do you not think
didn't
she might
bleed.
have been unconscious?
Well, when the ambulance got here, they told me she was gone. So either the doctors that showed up are lying, or something else happened. I don't know, but there wasn't blood whenever she was here.
The Sorry, you go.
You saw Angela, didn't you? Did she have any, bandage around her or anything like that? Maybe she came home and, and it's her blood.
Good way to comfort him. At that,
Did she?
There you go.
Did she have any?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just say, did she have any bandages or anything? Did she look as if she had anything on her?
I mean, her clothes were kind of ripped up and ragged, but she seemed mostly intact. Like I said, it was like bruises, like she'd been held down or like maybe beaten or hit herself on something. She was stumbling and she fell whenever I saw her.
She's asking you about Angela, not Nancy.
Oh, sorry. Got distracted. No, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Angela, she was restrained and to her bed and covered up, but she was just. The nurse said she might have been sedated by the doctor, but she was just sort of staring at the ceiling.
Did you know that she was picked up on Friday morning? It said it on her transcript.
I mean, I didn't know that. Like I said, if I had known that, I would have come to the hospital first thing, but...
The telephone in your apartment rings.
I am going to pick it up.
Makes me feel like it's one of those Matrix moments.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up, but I'm not going to say hello or anything like that. I'm just going to pick it up.
Mr. Rickaby, this is your concierge. I just wanted to let you know, sir, that there is a man on his way up to your apartment.
I will hang it up. There's someone coming up to the apartment. I don't know who. He just said it was a man that's coming up to the apartment. Either you all need to get out of here right now, or like I don't need that. I don't need you guys getting in trouble for shit that really doesn't have anything to do with you.
Have you got stuff there to just throw in a bag?
Well, that's kind of why we're here. What I'm here for, just real quick, but Yeah, and as I'm talking, I am going to quickly try to like search through some of like my things, Angela's things, and again, just trying to prove that stuff that the necessary paperwork for like visitation at the hospital and
Yeah, paperwork, photographs, such.
yeah, in the increasingly unlikely event that it actually happens.
What the rest do you want to do? Because you only have a few moments here.
Should we just like go outside? Because there's no point in all of us getting,
I'm grabbing my stuff and getting out of here. Like you guys should be long gone before me.
Yeah, I think we should go.
Is there a back way out that we could use?
Everyone down the fire escape. Yeah, there'll be a fire escape. You can go down the side of the building.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Is this everyone bailing out the fire escape?
Should we have a quick look down there first to see if there's anyone like, obviously waiting, like lying in wait outside around that kind of? Because I mean that's probably going to be like an obvious way out.
Yeah, for sure.
See, this is why I love you playing Alan, because you always come up with these little sensible suggestions that would save everyone's skin. Yeah, if you stick your head out first, there's no one hanging in the alleyway out back. Or it's not the alleyway, take you down to the street, but no one hanging down there.
I will make a point that I'm wanting to make sure that I'm the last person to leave my apartment.
Alright, well you'll be the one that rolls quick then, because you're the last.
Fair enough. I do have quick, so... And it's just the one die?
Yep.
Ooh.
Do you want to add the stress dice and reroll?
You have 2 luck.
Not anymore.
I've already used it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll put me up at 4 stress.
Well, it'll only give you stress if it's equal to or exceeds your stress.
Oh, in that case, yeah, sure. So,
2 dice.
reroll 1 or reroll both?
You add the dice and you roll them, so it's 2 dice.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So one of them's a fail. Yes, you hear a stern chap at your door, like someone's knocking it with the handle of an umbrella or something similar, a walking stick perhaps. And you hear a voice. It sounds kind of familiar, but you're not quite sure where from. And it says, Mr. Rickaby, just as you're like halfway out the window.
You said I'm not sure where the familiarity comes from?
No, I've heard that voice before, but you can't quite place it. So you can either dip out and before that person potentially opens the door, or if you want to make a decision to go back in and answer, you can.
I am going to... Okay, they haven't opened up the door, they're just knocking?
They've knocked in, yelled out your name.
I'll try to make my way towards the door and see if I can peek out through the peephole. See if I can see their face. Okay. I mean, if any time they start to open up the door, I'm out the window.
You're halfway across the 2 rooms, the bedroom and then the living room to the front door. When the door is just kind of pushed open and you can see the man standing there. Very well dressed gentleman, and you recognise him as the doctor you spoke to the other night at the hospital, Dr. Combs.
Dr. Combs?
Yes, Mr. Rickaby. I came as soon as I heard about Angela.
Right, and I'm going to try to intercept him before he gets anywhere close to the blood splatter?
Sure, he's not going to walk into your apartment uninvited.
Okay, fair enough. Then yeah, I'll just kind of meet him at the door. Just like, yeah, I was actually just stopping by to grab my, the paperwork to hopefully identify her.
Of course. I was wondering if I might have a word with you in private. Indicating he doesn't want to talk while he's out in the hallway.
Sure, I'll let him inside, but I'm not letting him past me any deeper into the apartment.
Okay, so he's going to sit at this end of the table, not the far end where the drinks and stuff are.
Yeah.
Sure, so he comes in and he puts his hat down, his umbrella and his jacket. Says, yes, oh, did something happen here? I see your furniture's been knocked ajar.
Yeah, I tripped and I just been lazy about picking it back up. So what did you need to talk to me about, Doctor?
Well, I came with the instant I heard that there was a Jane Doe up on the second floor of the Ward 3, and that you had came in and identified as Angela. And I just felt awful that, having known Angela and being so respectful of the work that she'd contributed, that I hadn't thought to check, the unidentified persons in the hospital in case she was one of them.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm sure you're a busy guy. A lot of sick people and such.
Yes, well, I just wanted to come and offer my services if you needed a second person for the verification of her identity. I'd be more than happy to help.
Oh, you would? Sure. I'm still kind of sorting some things out, getting things ready. If you want to wait for me out in the lobby, we can head over right away as soon as I'm ready to go.
Of course, I have my motor car out front. I can drive you there if you want.
Oh, you can? Okay, yeah, that'll be even better. I'll meet you down there as soon as I gather my things.
Of course. I'll wait for you downstairs. And he picks up his
thank
things
you.
and heads out.
Close the door and yeah, I'll if they haven't like removed the locks, I'll try to lock the door, but and then I'll try to make my way back to the fire escape and try to shout out to the others.
Yes, you see the other three who are now at the street level, having come down the fire escape. And you guys look up and you can see him poking his head out and wondering, why did he go back into the apartment?
I think I probably would have had the discussion with everyone going like, do we really trust him? Like, are we sure that he's maybe not murdered and this is all some psychotic episode?
Although, to that point, because that last dice was a 4 and that's higher than my stress, does that mean I take stress?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now I'm up to 4 stress. Okay, anyways, carry on.
Okay, so yeah, Paul pitches to the other two. Do we really actually trust this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think he believes what he's saying, but whether that means it's the whole truth, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. And I believe he's innocent until guilty.
I mean, he is acting, like a man who's under a lot of stress, but that could be understandable. So then he sticks his head out, and then what do you yell down to Rocky?
Yeah, so it wasn't a cop. It was actually the doctor that I spoke to earlier at the hospital. The fucking guy just wants to help identify Angela at the hospital, so I mean, it would. If the cops don't grab me at the hospital, then if my luck continues to kind of go up like it has been, I'll be able to, identify my wife. They'll be able to let me visit with her and hopefully, get get her fixed up and take her home. So I guess if you guys have anything you guys need to take care of, that's fine. I am gonna be just going back to the hospital with the doctor. Apparently he's got a car, so.
So what do you three want to do?
I see if anyone wants to come to a carol service, they get a free dinner if they come to the carol service, because the church gives like a free meal and a drink and stuff.
I think I'll take the family to that. I imagine, like, if it's the one near Tensei, probably the family do regularly go to that.
She would be talking about the Swedish church, which is in Midtown Manhattan, so it is not close to Red Hook.
Right, okay. He'd still raise that about wanting to bring the family for that.
Yeah, but I could just get like Hans to give, like, because he has a car, he'll drive everyone home.
Okay, so having got your $10 each, are you three thinking now is a good time to leave this crazy potential murderer to his own devices? And you're not at all concerned that he's going to jump in a car with someone?
I mean, it's not like, I'm armed or anything. What could go wrong?
This is difficult because, like, out of character, yes, I absolutely suspect the doctor 100%, but in character, I'm not sure if I can justify that.
Yeah, because it is a doctor, so they're kind of respected. So
But do you
I'm
not
just
think?
thinking of.
I mean, do you
Just
not think
thinking of
it's
this.
suspicious that he just showed up?
No, because I think, like, sometimes these things happen. That's why I was saying about the caroling service, because it's a nice time for everyone.
Sure. So what would you three like to do?
Probably go back to see his family to help arrange visit the church.
Right, so you just want to just take your money and go enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess if Paul's heading back, I can look to what he's doing and what Gert was doing as well. I'll probably go back and see to the other guys from the ship, my crew.
Feel like as well that Rourke can handle himself as well. He's quite sort of the type that can handle himself,
Yeah, what could go wrong? Okay, yeah, I mean, you guys can just like.
I invite Rourke to come along as well if he wants to, instead of going going with the doctor.
Appreciate it, but again, not exactly big on religion, and also I really gotta see my wife.
Okay, so you three are going to go back to. Well, two of you are going back to Tin City. Gerta, you're going home and then going to the church. Is Emile supposed to go with you? She did tell you she had a date tonight.
Yeah, well, that's why I was inviting. Like Paul and Eric, because
Sure.
I was just like, yeah.
So do you just want to swing by home and then go down and get them and then go to the church?
Yeah.
I will put them in Tin City. I will put you in your apartment. I'll leave you there, which you didn't do. You go back to hospital. Okay, so you're going to get in the car with the doctor, and you're both going to drive off to the hospital. Gerta, you're going to go back to your apartment?
Yeah, because I'll just go and get changed.
Sure.
Or like go to the church.
You come back to your apartment, and the concierge, the doorman, is there, and as you walk in, he waves you. It's like, oh, Gerta. So I was talking with the general manager earlier about your friend that was looking for some work. We can't offer him anything full time, but we might be able to get him in for a short 4, maybe 6 hours during the night to cover some of the night shifts.
Oh, excellent. Do you need them tonight?
Well, I think the general manager wants to have a proper sit down with him tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, whenever he can make it in, just to come, go for arrangements. But I think from then on, yes, it'd be a fairly regular shift.
Oh, very nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, I mean, don't thank me. We were just talking out, and it's those boys down there in the docks have got it hard enough already without, struggling to feed themselves. So we've all got to chip in and do what we can.
Use the phone to just phone him just now, just to put a message through,
I'll leave a message for the general manager for when he comes in tomorrow morning.
Okay.
If you could just let your friend know, because we don't really have a good way to contact him.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, there was a gentleman in asking for a meal earlier. An Italian guy. What was his name? Rossetti? Something like that.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not really. I mean, I'm sure the manager will maybe have a word if he keeps making an appearance, but he's not really the kind of the sort that we like having around here.
Yes, I've spoken to Emil.
Yeah, all right. Well, you have a good day, Carter.
Thank you again. Thanks to you.
All right, enjoy your evening.
You too.
You go up the stairs, and Emil is in the apartment putting on her makeup.
Are you out in the razzle dazzle tonight then?
Yes, I'm feeling much better, and I'm sure once I've had a meal in me, I'll perk up.
I'm sure.
How about you? Are you going to go and frequent with more gun-waving hoodlums?
I'm going to the caroling service. Excuse me, this was a bereaved man that has now found Angela. You know Angela?
Yes, yeah, I remember Angela. So they found her?
Yeah, they found her. She's in hospital.
Oh, the poor dear. So what happened to her?
I don't know yet. She's, I think she must have been attacked or something like that, because apparently she's just, she's suffering, she's all beaten and bruised, so she's very, really shaken up. So, yeah, it's not good. So I was talking to her husband, so he was like, and that's nice that he now knows where she is. So.
Well, you know what they say though. In most of these cases, it's the husband or the boyfriend that did it.
Well, you just gotta watch yourself, don't you?
I'm not an idiot, Gerta.
Well, do you know what happened when I went for lunch with Hans the other day? He was talking about you constantly. She
rolls her eyes visibly in the mirror as you bring up Hans' name.
He really likes you, Emil. That is a good guy to be with.
If you like him so much, Gerta, why don't you settle down with him?
He's not the one for me.
Well, he's not the one for me either. I mean,
I just thought, remember you used to you would be singing and he would be playing the organ, and you were just the pair of you together in your duet, and everybody thinks in the church that you are going to get married. So, yeah.
Well, I can make my own decisions. It doesn't matter what other people think. And no.
He has a card. He has a car, Emil.
Plenty of men have cars these days, Gerta. It's the
And he
1930s, for God's sake.
He comes from his dad, like, runs the church, and everything's very nice. You would have a nice life.
Yeah,
Emil.
but I
And
could
that's
have
all I want for you is a nice, decent life.
a nice, boring life. And there's that word again, decency. You're always judging my decisions. I'm perfectly capable of choosing someone suitable for myself based on my own personality and what I want out of life. And what I want out of life isn't to be the little goody two-shoes little pastor's wife.
Get the glass of water with a bit of tissue and then the makeup off.
You're wiping her makeup off.
Yeah, because it's too much.
She's like slaps your hand away. She's like, "What are you doing?
This is too much makeup, Emil. Come on.
It is not.
Think of your character. Think of the character. And that dress you're wearing.
What about my dress?
See your shoulders.
Well, I want him to see my shoulders.
It's not decent, Emil. You can see the shoulders, and oh my
goodness, you sound like my grandmother.
It's just above the knee. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're wearing a dress just above the knee.
Oh, well, if you think that's something, she hikes her skirt up and you can see the garter.
Oh my goodness. I just can't take it. Where's the cup of tea?
You hear a honk, loud and obnoxious, from outside in the street. Oh, that's him. Right. Oh, not another word of this, Gerta. I'll see you later.
Think of your mum. Think of your mum. She wouldn't like this.
Okay, I love you too, Mommy. Bye. She grabs her bag and her jacket, hobbles over to the front door, opens it and closes it. Leaves.
Shoulders. Dress above her knee. Oh. Some tea.
Yeah, you put the kettle on before you get ready. So Eric and Paul, you guys make your way back to the unwelcoming place of your abode. It always feels colder in this part of the city. The wind picks up just coming off the shoreline, whips its way through the little narrow streets that you've created, and it always gives you a chill as you're coming back here. You're coming in together, of course. I guess you pass Paul's little cabin before you would go on and pass Eric's one.
I think I'd ask Paul, do you think we're doing the right thing, leaving that Rickaby to his own devices with the doctor?
I don't know. As more and more time goes on, I'm getting more and more suspicious of him. He pays well, though. I mean, sort of, his hand twitches towards, like, the pocket where the money is. And we were never in much of a position to say no to the money, but I don't know.
Sorry, a young man walks past you, just a little too close for comfort, and your fingers instinctively go to hold your pocket still.
Sort of wait till the guy's roughly out of earshot before continuing. I don't know, Eric. Something about him, what if none of what he's saying is true? What if he's the one that's been causing it? I've been seeing him around all these places where also conveniently these bodies are washing up. Then we go into his place and we find a blood, and he admits that he was there when Nancy died.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. There's just something about this just doesn't quite add up. He's telling his truth. I can recognize that, but what's behind all this? I just don't know. Whether he's would one man be capable of all this? Is that a thing that could happen?
Just look at what happened with the Great War. One person can do a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know, Eric. I want to believe him, but evidence is mounting up that it's hard to ignore.
Yeah. I suppose we might as well sleep on it for tonight. See what happens in the morning.
That's a fair bro idea.
As you turn the corner, your son spies you. He's just standing outside your cabin, and as he sees you, he kind of starts to raise his hand to wave, and then just drops it, and then sort of jogs over to you. He looks like he's seen a ghost.
What's up, lad?
I found a body.
He sort of like pauses, looks at Eric. Take
Not
me.
another one.
It's just down here at the shore. And he starts jogging down the wee street.
Eric, you coming?
Sure, I'll come with you.
You just
Follow
go
my
down.
son?
Yeah, you just go down the row of cabins, and then you take a right, and there's like the end of a cabin that's kind of like sticking out just before you get to sort of the gravel of the shore, and lying there face down in the gravel, soaked, is a body.
Does it look as in fresh, or is it like really, really sort of like waterlogged skin kind of?
It looks fresh. As far I mean, you can see the back of the head and the jackets. The only really flesh you can really see is the hands. But just looking at it there, it looks like someone's just fallen over. But they're just lying at an angle in such a way that they wouldn't do so if they were alive.
Sort of like how recent did you notice this? As Paul goes down to try and like move the body over to the back, onto its back.
Yeah, it's like not 5-10 minutes ago. That I just came back up to the house to see if you were there or to tell Mum.
You're a good boy. Sort of rolls the body over and just sort of checks for breathing, really, just to make sure.
Yeah, you turn it over, the face is like blue, the skin is cold, the eyes are like staring up at you. It's a young man, and Eric, you recognise it as the man Lawrence you were talking to the other night.
Oh god, it's Lawrence.
You know him?
Not well, but I knew him by name, but beyond that, all I really knew was that he didn't look well. He looked haunted, like he was being drained of all the life in him. God, if I'd known he would end up like this.
Underneath the body is a crushed bottle of cheap whiskey.
Can I see? Is there like a label on it? This wouldn't be like one of the same batch from the boat where I was working the other day.
Yeah, that's interesting. Sure. Yes, he's clearly never got a chance to finish the bottle because there's like remnants of it and the remains of the bottle there.
Yes, Paula will try and pat through the pockets just to see if there's anything else there.
There's some papers and a little bit of tobacco and some matches, but that's all.
Well, Eric, we need to call this one through and get this sorted.
Yeah, I suppose we need to contact someone to collect him. I didn't know if you had any family or anyone who would be here for him.
So as you're padding the body and such, Are you wanting to do a deeper investigation of him?
Yeah, probably while he's doing it, just sort of just check to see what the cause of death was, if there's like any stab wounds or anything.
So yeah, scene analysis and clever.
Just investigation, natural history, scene analysis, wilderness. So the best he can do is just sort of check what happened to him, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 1 dice for a scene analysis. I was just seeing if you had a trait that applied as well.
Nah, nothing investigation wise, I don't think, unless wilderness to see if he drowned. Oh.
Okay, so wilderness would probably tell you that he did not drown. He does not have the water in his lungs when you like push in the chest or whatnot. But when you push down the chest to see if any air comes out, there's no kind of like air escaping either when you push down on it. I mean, there might be another medical reason for that you're unaware of, but he's not drowned. There's no stab wounds, there's no cuts. His torso's intact, nothing is carved out his insides or anything like that. There doesn't really look to be any obvious reason why he would be dead.
Bearing in mind what we heard from Rickaby, could we look into his throat? Would there be any sign of anything there?
Sure, do you want to put your fingers in his throat?
Maybe not.
I think Paul would probably be confident to look, because, like, they check for choking, and it's like, all right, and they'll look in and like pull the tongue and stuff to have a look.
Yeah, you put your fingers as deep down as you can get them. You don't feel anything that shouldn't be there. But if you did suffocate or choke on something, it doesn't seem to be anything in the part of the throat that you can access either.
Nothing concrete, but he definitely didn't drown.
Have you got a scene analysis, Eric?
Not scene analysis, unfortunately, only document analysis.
Paul does.
Do you want to roll 1 dice for me, Eric? Okay, so... Paul, do you want to roll 1 dice for me?
There you go.
What's your stress at just now, Paul?
1.
Okay, so your stress is now at 2. And Eric, your stress will go up. As you're kind of examining the body and you've pulled his shirt up, you can feel it under your hand, Paul, and Eric, you visibly see it under the skin. Something squirms.
Oh.
Maybe the width of 2 fingers together in size, and it just sort of squirms up and then back in underneath the skin.
I think that would definitely give us startle, because
Yeah, I think I would recoil back from it.
and seeing as 2 is, you take fright, but it passes. It's like, that seems very apt for what just happened. Sorry, I really like how our friend Rourke Swindle here is just in the chat. He's just going, I called it!
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, so there's just a moment of a squirm, and then it's gone. So what would you like to do?
Probably a sea creature that got into him like a fish.
I don't know. I've seen some strange things, but I've never seen anything like that before.
So your previous roll, you can see that his ankles are like wet where the water's washed up, but the rest of his body's dry. He's not like been in the water.
Paul's, probably like this. The sudden movement probably caused him to fall over. But I imagine he's now like, it's not anything that's threatening him. It's just the body squirmed a bit.
Your boy that was... Sorry, you go.
Boy, I imagine, is probably pale as a sheet, even more so now, especially
I mean,
with the jump.
he's standing behind the two of you. He maybe didn't see a squirm or notice anything like that. He's just like staring down. He's like, what happened to him, Dad?
Go to your mum. I'll tell you when I get back. Go to your mum.
But I just wanted to help.
You can help by going to your mum.
It stands there awkwardly for just a moment and then turns and jogs away.
I just sort of watches, like, spends like probably a minute, and I imagine Eric probably just starts talking, and like Paul would raise his hand in a case of like, because he just wants to make sure that his boy has actually went home before he says anything.
Yeah, fair.
And he's like, he looks back at the body. It's like, should we find out what squirmed?
Dude, are you talking about what I think you're talking about? Do you mean like cut him open?
Well, at the very least, exposing where it was. Sorry, just to check, was where it squirmed was like under the clothes?
But yes, his flesh, his
Yeah.
kind of belly area.
We'll see about it, but first let's have a look. And he goes to sort of like undo the top to look at the stomach.
Sure, you undo his shirt and then pull up the vest properly so you can get a good look. And his pale, sort of bluing flesh is there. You can see all the veins just underneath the skin. And the skin itself is kind of sort of dried, as if, you know, he's not been taking care of it.
Paul takes a couple of his fingers and starts prodding at the stomach and certain spots on it just to see if he can feel anything moving underneath or prompt something to move.
When you roll one more dice for me.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're prodding and then trying to get like under the ribs and all the sort of I was going to say nooks and crannies.
I
but
will,
all the places...
before you say anything, he's not doing it to like pierce the skin. He's more just to see like, okay, something moved here. I'm just going to keep prodding in multiple places to see.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I was meaning.
Yeah, your fingers wouldn't break the skin anyway. You're just like pushing into organs and places to try and see if you can feel anything unusual. And as you do so, you don't really feel anything different. But I mean, you're not a trained medical person, so it could just be that you can't tell the difference.
It might have been, I don't know, a gas, I guess. I don't know. I'm not feeling anything moving around in there.
Alright, I suppose there's not much else we can do for him, really.
Aye. Come on, let's go and get the authorities and tell them what's doing here.
The stomach explodes in a shower of gore and blood, spraying you both over the faces with cold blood. And this thing with 5 tentacles and with no head, just a squirming worm-like body, scurries and slides out at speed over the man's crotch from the belly, into the sand and towards the water.
I think I would be coming out with some pretty strong Norwegian swearing about right now.
Yeah. I don't think we need to say, like, there would be an incredible amount of expletives probably darting away from it.
You could roll a dice for stress, or you could just take a stress, depending on what you feel like.
I'm going to say roll a dice for Paul, because he has a history of eldritch monstrosities.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, that's going to go up.
Yeah, I think I'll just straight up take a stress from that. I think there's, that would be a stressful situation.
Yep, so 3 stress. Your fear causes you to drop something, lose your footing, or scream. Seeing as I've already done 2 of the 3 of those things, I think that's very apt.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be on the same. Yeah, I think I'm on 3 as well at this point. So yeah, I'll probably take lose footing and just like fall over in the reaction to this.
Yeah, you land in the gravel and the sand, and you're looking, praying you inside that this thing doesn't make its way towards you, but it scurries and goes like straight for the water, and it kind of like wriggles just into the first few inches of water so that the blood is washed off of its pale skin, and then it stops wriggling it stops moving completely and just floats there in a few inches of water.
Paul would probably reach to grab anything in his hand, like a rock, brick, pipe, stick, anything that is nearby, and grab it. As in the piece of debris that's nearby is some
reaching
form of
around
weapon.
and grabbing like a half brick.
Eric, get something, and probably will throw the thing, whatever he's picked up in his hand, at the tentacled thing.
Yes, there's a splash of water as you kind of like smack the brick into it, and it just moves over to the side where you've hit it from. It doesn't seem to react in any way.
Jesus Christ. My phone went off. Give me a moment.
Sure.
There we go. That ringtone was very well timed.
So the thing is not more than 6 or 7 inches in length, and it looks like a kind of fleshy sausage with these 5 awkwardly placed little tentacles sticking out of it. There doesn't, from the distance you're looking at anyway, there doesn't seem to be a discernible head or eyes or anything like that.
Oh, what the fuck is that thing?
So it's sitting there just floating as the waves are just so softly sort of lapping on the shore, and its body just moving in time with the water.
And it got hit by the brick and then didn't really move much, or did it actually move as in alive, or just
No,
sort of like hovered?
just the force of the brick, pushed it, moved it. It doesn't seem to react in any way.
Probably goes to pick up another item and just throw it again at it.
Sure, you pick up another stone, rock, whatever, and you throw at it, and it just hits the top of it and sort of like just rests there, pinning it against the gravel.
Eric, see if you can wrench that pipe out from the building.
Yeah, I'll do that. If there's like a
Some
pipe or
big
something.
long bit of
Yeah,
pipe or something.
I'll do my best to pull it out.
Sure, you yank this little pipe out.
Right, Eric, I want you to try and see if you could poke it with the pipe. I'll cover you, right?
I'll cover you.
I'll shoot a sidelong glance at Paul, but yeah, I'll
Oh no, it's
very
when you say
cautiously.
that, like it's more like you approach from one side and then Paul's approaching this thing from the other side.
Right,
Like
okay.
rocks.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Don't worry, me this brick got you covered.
Yeah, I'll very gingerly move towards it and try to poke it with the pipe.
Sure, you lean forward and stretch out with the pipe. Roll dice for me.
What one is it? 1 or 2?
Just 1 dice. Yeah, you push against its soft, pale body, and it just indents the skin just a little bit. And then maybe pull back for a second to see if anything happens, and there's no reaction whatsoever.
Do you think it's dead?
Try and see if you can push it out of the water. It seems so important to it. Maybe it does not like being exposed.
Okay, again, I'll be a bit hesitant, but I'll try and push it a little harder to see if I can knock it out of the water.
Yeah, you kind of scoop it away from the rock that pinned it down and flip it over. And the underside of it looks exactly like the top side of it. So then you just kind of like slide it, etch it out of the water onto the drier part of the sand. It's completely motionless. It's just like a dead lump of flesh.
Paul smacks it with a brick 4 or 5 times.
So just hammering it with force.
Yep.
You can roll a dice for me. Yes, you smack it, and you smack it, and you smack it again, and it spurts this sort of very dark green kind of blood goo substance, and a little bit of it kind of like spatters you in the face. Have you lost any luck so far?
No. I am still at max luck.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, a little bit spatters on you, but it doesn't burn, doesn't feel uncomfortable. Maybe you're a little anxious that you'll get that twitch in your eye, but you actually feel okay.
Sort of after doing that, he'll gingerly prod it with a finger, keeping the brick steady in his spare hand.
It's soft, squishy, cold. It has a horrible, really rancid kind of smell to it. But other than that, it just seems like a dead, smooshed piece of biological tissue.
And Paul stares at it. I ain't seen any sea life like this. And I've seen cuttlefish and anemones and squid. I'm sure it looks similar to those, but definitely nothing like that.
Should we try to like get it inside something? Like try to contain it?
Sort of look around to see if there's a bottle of beer or a jar or something.
Oh god, can we get it into the whiskey bottle?
I mean, you could kind of try and scoop it into the bottom half of the broken bottle, yeah. Do you want to tip out the whiskey first, or drink it first, or what?
Probably down the whiskey. Like, I got some good news and bad news.
Probably better go with the bad news first.
I think Rourke was telling the truth.
So what's the good news?
Rourke was telling the truth.
I see.
You hear a voice from some ways behind you saying, "Hey, what's going on down here?"
Found a dead body. Looks like some fish got to it.
The man walks over. About sort of late 30s. He walks over. He's got a very sort of unshaven, grizzled, hard-looking face. And then as soon as he sees the body with its guts spilling out, he goes, "Oh, but good God!" Turns to one side and starts retching.
And meanwhile, there's Paul, somewhat covered in gore as well. I'm guessing one of the two of us is I'm probably Paul, would be holding the whiskey jar with the fish in it.
Yeah, this probably isn't the best look for us right now.
As you scoop the thing into the remains of the whiskey jar, and of course there's still sort of the remnants of whiskey in the jar, there's a slight hissing, sizzling kind of sound. There's a little bit of sort of smoke, steam coming up off of the thing's body, and it shrivels up as if it's been left in the sun too long.
Paul stares at this and it's like, I'm trying to think if this is familiar to the bodies earlier, like the shriveling up that happened with the earlier bodies.
The texture of its skin as it dries up gives you that sort of feeling.
Probably go and help the person that's vomiting and just sort of just patting his back, making sure he's all right.
Yeah, it's like spitting out. It's like, oh, good God, what happened to him?
We got here and this thing, and sort of shows the shriveled up thing, and the whiskey was doing something to him. We dealt with it, but well.
What in the hell is that?
I've got no fucking clue.
It looks like a fried squid.
Was inside that man. We don't know how he must have got there, but he went off like a like a bomb going off.
Ugh, that's disgusting. Well, I better go find a policeman.
Cheers, man.
Hobbles off in the direction of the main street.
Sorry, Paul just sort of stares at the back of the guy as he probably like very fast walks away from this.
Yeah.
We best stay here until it's. We don't want nothing to happen with Rourke to happen. Like, oh, 2 people found around the body. We're best at least staying here until the police come by.
Yeah, we don't want any. We don't want to make it look as if we were involved in the man's death.
Covered in blood.
Paul will probably like sort of put the bottle down in the dry sand and then go and maybe grab some water and sort of wash off the worst of the debris from himself.
Yeah. So you guys want to hang around till a cop comes and do it by the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we we don't want to take any chances. Yeah.
I just say it straight as it is, but leave the detail that something squirted on his face and made him feel a bit weird. Probably leaves that bit out.
Okay, so you guys are going to wait there for the cop. Gertrude, you're going to finish getting dressed and then make your way down to Tin City to pick up those 2 and go to church with them. But meanwhile, Rocky, you have got into the car with Dr. Combs. He can't apologise enough for this situation, and he feels really guilty, obviously, about what he's perceiving as a derelict of duty. After you said that she was missing, to not at least do a round the wards and check that any of the Jane Does could have been her. He just assumed that if she'd came in, she would have been lucid enough, cohesive enough to, identify herself, and they would have known on the charts that her name was there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't have been the only poor guy to come bothering you, asking if you'd seen somebody. I mean, there's been so many missing persons, and
that strikes a chord with him. It's like, no, yeah, funny you should mention it. There was a man who came in looking for his wife who was missing too. Poor guy.
Yeah.
So did they I didn't get time to check the chart properly. Did they tell you who was her attending physician?
It was Dr. Cavendish.
I don't even know if they had lights at this point. You just stop at like the crossroads. It gives you a funny look. Dr. James Cavendish?
Yeah, you know him?
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone in the hospital knows him. He's one of the top surgeons. He's one of the directors of the hospital. And he's the one that's signed on for her care.
Oh, you sound like that. That doesn't seem right.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it technically, I suppose, but I wouldn't expect a patient in the hospital, especially not a priority case, to be signed in under the care of one of the top surgeons in the hospital.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound a little interesting, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't want to worry you any more than we would have, Mr. Rickaby, but if she's had some sort of severe neurological issue, then perhaps Dr. Cavendish is taking her under care because he feels like she is going to be a priority case. No, we really should hurry.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
So you arrive at the hospital in short order, get out of the car, walk into the building. The doctor, gets you in and takes you straight up to where you need to go. You get to the nurse's station up on the floor that you're going to, and the nurse there is the same nurse that you spoke to earlier. And she goes over through your documents and stuff, and she's like, okay, I do have a note from Dr. Cavendish that he needs to review this in person. So his office is up on the second to top floor of the building. If you take the elevator there, and when you come out the elevator at the top, you take a left, and it's the third door on the right. But I'll just sign off on these, and if you could take the rest of this file, and he gives you the file with all your documents and stuff in it. If you could take this up and speak to him, and then once he's given the okay, we should be able to sign out Angela into your care.
Oh, okay. Right.
And then
was kind of hoping I would get to at least see her.
if you want to go see her quick before you go upstairs, that shouldn't be an issue. Dr. Combs, and Dr. Combs nods. He's like, no, that's fine. Says, I'll fill out the rest of the forms here, Rickaby.
Yeah. I just want to see her.
Sure. So she takes you along to the ward where Angela is, and Angela is still there on the bed, still restrained, still just staring up at the ceiling. The nurse whispers to you, you could go over and speak to her just now if you want. It should be okay.
Yeah, I'll Rocky will thank her and kind of slowly approach her, and if there's like a seat anywhere nearby, he'll try to kind of like scoot it closer, but he's trying to be as quiet and as like slow and as possible, but also like restrained excitement and desperation to just grab her and hold her. But
yeah, you grab the chair, you start pulling it over. You remember from earlier that there was 2 people in the room, now there's just her. You pull the chair over and it drags across the floor. Very loud it seems, and then you sit down and just everything else just fades away, the background noise, all the rest of it, and it's just the 2 of you sat in silence.
yeah, I'll just kind of gently call out like, Angela?
You can hear her breathing is very slow, laboured. Her skin looks as if, she's been out in the sun too long. Her eyes are all kind of like puffy and drawn back.
Try to reach for a hand to hold.
You touch her hand and it feels, dried out and scaly. As soon as you touch it, her whole hand sort of flinches and she turns her face to the right and stares right at you. And her breathing gets heavier and more rapid.
Yeah, I'll just be like, it's me, it's Rocky.
And then she screams at the top of her lungs in your direction, just right in your face. The nurse comes running in behind you and runs up to her and pins her shoulders down to stop her from sitting upright. What do you say to her?
Nothing. I just said it's me.
The nurse is like, shh, calm down, dear. It's okay. You're all right. You're in hospital. Shh.
Yeah, Rocky is definitely just kind of stepping back and is just obviously very stunned by what just happened.
You stand back, and Angela just continues to scream, pausing only for the briefest of breaths, and then screaming again at the top of her lungs, staring at you, dead in the eyes the entire time. It doesn't feel like she's blinking.
Yeah, not really avoiding eye contact. I feel like Rocky's just sort of just trapped there, watching her scream at him, and just feeling extremely helpless of what to do.
Screams repeatedly until her voice goes hoarse from it, and she coughs and she spits, and then she just starts to catch her breath out of necessity more than anything else, and is forcibly kind of pushed back into that relaxed kind of state.
Yeah, if she ever breaks eye contact, then yeah, Rocky just kind of will stand there just dumbfounded for a bit before, I guess, probably just walking out of the room.
And once her breath comes back, rather than screaming in between her rapid breathing, she's just going, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me."
What wasn't you?
The nurse just puts a hand on your chest and just nods at you, but she doesn't know what she's saying.
No, just what wasn't you, Angela?
Repeatedly again, she just, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me." And as you're getting close to try and, like, catch her eyes again to maybe try and force more of a conversation over, she, like, closes her eyes as tight as she can and turns her head off to the side to not look at you. And then she starts to not scream like she was before, but she just, like, yelling, and she starts trying to pull her arms out of the restraints. And she's just going, "No, no, no!"
Yeah, I think at that stage, yeah, Rocky just kind of, fully walks out the room.
By the time you walk in the room, she's, like, sobbing to herself.
Yeah, very visibly shaken by the fact that apparently I seem to be a trigger, and just no real knowledge or skill on how to fix her. Rocky will kind of make his way back towards the Dr. Combs or Coombs.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a look of concern on his face as you approach, and it's up. Was that screaming Angela?
Yeah. She's really not in any kind of good shape at all, I guess.
Looking at our chart here, Mr. Rickaby, I mean, I'm not an expert of the mind, but the indication here is that she's undergone some sort of traumatic event, possibly a physical head injury, but it's certainly something that's affected her mind very deeply.
I think Rocky, like, sort of at this stage realizes he's, like, white knuckling his fists and just kind of forces them to relax, and just watching how shaky his fingers are. Yeah,
You're like,
I really wish they had, like, a magic pill for this sort of thing.
yes, well, let's see what Dr. Cavendish says, eh? And he passes the thing off to the nurse, and he puts his arm around you, and he's like, we'll take it from here, nurse.
Yeah. I guess I'll follow him or whoever has the file to Dr. Cavendish.
Yeah, he's going to the elevator up to the floor, over to the office, and it's just one of those kind of standard doors, with the glass pane and the name, and it says Dr. James J. Cavendish, director. There's no one else in any of the offices up here. It's the only light on, and through it's that kind of glass. It's all like wavy, so you can't really see very well on the other side. You just see like outlines of things. But you see the outline, the shape of a person come to the door, and the door opens. And this tall, thin, very youthful looking man, I mean, he looks way too young to be someone in his position, with very fine, slicked back black hair and very thin black round spectacles. Answer the door. And he gives you a smile. Mr. Rickaby, I presume?
Yeah.
Of course. And he takes the file from Dr. Combs. He says, why don't you come and have a seat? We can have a chat. Dr. Combs, is that right? Why don't you get us a coffee? Yes? And he kind of closes the door on the guy.
Yeah, I was told to bring this file to you, and you had to sign it off before.
Yes, of course, Mr. Rigby. He just drops the file on the table, sits in his chair, leans back, and he goes, would you like a drink? Brandy, perhaps?
Yeah. I suppose I could go for a drink. Yeah.
Yes. I think we'll all be glad when Prohibition comes to its end, yes? It gives you a sort of cheeky smile.
Yeah.
A couple of big glasses and pulls a brandy out from the cabinet underneath the desk, pours one out each. And then he offers up the glass and he's like, to your health.
Yeah, to my health. I mean, I'd say the same to you, but you look great.
Well, it pays dividends to look
Seriously,
after
how old
oneself.
are you?
Oh,
How even old are you to be a director of a hospital? You look like younger than I am.
he like puts his fingers together and gives you a smile. So about your wife then. So this is Mrs. Angela Rickaby, yes. He doesn't even open the file to look at your documents yet.
Yeah, that's her name.
Yes, well, I'm afraid your wife has suffered a very serious traumatic event. If I'm not sure if it's been a physical altercation of some sort. I don't suppose the two of you were involved in an accident prior to her disappearance.
No, she was volunteering at one of the charity organizations in Red Hook.
Of course. So obviously we have examined her, and I've not found any obvious signs of head trauma. So although it's always a possibility, some interior damage has been done, and we've not been able to localise it, that seems highly unlikely. So we should be able to release her into your care this evening. That's not an issue. But as you can see, if you've been down to see her, she is in an extremely fragile state, and I would highly recommend that she stays here in the hospital under observation for the time being.
And this whole time he still hasn't opened up the file.
No, he hasn't looked at it.
How I feel like an intuition roll would be probably appropriate before
Sure.
Rocky just
Do you
says
have
things.
a understanding?
I do not have understanding
Okay,
as
so
a trait.
1 dice for your intuition, unless you want to. Well, you may as well wait before you reroll it.
Yeah.
So do you want to reroll with the stress dice?
Yeah, that'll put me at 5 though.
Well, only if it's higher than 4, or 4 or higher.
Right, yeah, I keep forgetting that. Okay, yeah. So, and then it's roll them both.
You roll 2, yeah.
That's-
Okay, so the stress dice was a 2, so you're going to be fine. Yeah, he seems.
Like, is he? Sorry, go ahead.
No, on you go.
I was just saying, is he bullshitting me? Is he just kind of feeding me a canned response, or like, what's the vibe here?
He's very clinical with his answers and what he's saying. You might this. I mean, you've been around people who are like actively trying to not tell you things, and he's not like outright bullshitting you, but he might be just acting clever with what he's saying to skirt around or not give anything away. You get that kind of vibe from him. But he may also just be a very methodical, precise sort of person, given his occupation.
I'm sorry. Where exactly did she just? Where was she found?
Oh, she was brought in by. I'm actually not sure. And now he opens the file and sort of flicks through the pages. No. Unfortunately, the attending orderly or nurse did not take a note of the person's name who brought her in. Just the time and the date, which was on around 6 a.m. on Friday morning.
And when did Angela like go missing? Just for my.
I think we said it was Thursday night. Her and Nancy had both gone missing.
Okay, so she was in this hospital. Okay. Yeah, I Rocky definitely makes a mental note that now he's checking the file after saying all that. So like, yeah, I'm choosing to be suspicious.
So while, as I said, Mr. Rigby, there's no issue with allowing her back into your care, but I would highly recommend she stays here for observation. And at the very least, allow me to give you a recommendation for a colleague of mine, a psychiatrist, that she could attend. And he would certainly make sure that she gets the best care in that regard.
Right, but how is she physically?
Well, it's been difficult to administer foods or liquids, obviously. We've had to, but we're not at the stage yet where we would force feed her, but we have had to apply a drip to keep her hydrated. So physically, she's doing okay. She's not in immediate danger. And we're obviously doing everything we can to keep her in the best of health.
Just trying to think of like how I can sort of get him to slip up and see if I can really get some concrete if he's lying or not.
Well, you've got your intimidation, your streetwise. So I mean, you could just roll it to try to use your street skills to get him to say something, or just to intimidate, push him into admitting something if you want.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just like, I think that's going to be kind of my is going to be like sort of subtle intimidation of just like trying to ask like very pointed questions and just like
push him. Yeah.
Just try to get him to like it almost probably sounds less like this a concerned husband asking questions about the doctor, and more like a police interrogation.
Yeah. So I would think for traits, strong-willed or charismatic or understanding, any of them might work.
I definitely have strong will, so I'll definitely use that.
Okay, so 2 dice. Yes. So he responds in such a way that indicates he knows what you're trying to do here, and he's not the type of person to be easily, pressed into something that he doesn't want to give up. And he, feeling backed into a corner, he then, drops that your name has been mentioned in the newspaper. And it does seem to be that the police are interested in the fact that your wife went missing around the time that this other woman's body was discovered. Is there any piece of information you're trying to get out of him?
I want to know what he's. I want to know what he's really doing here. Yeah, I want to know what he's fucking hiding. What he knows that I'm after. But yeah, no, I want to know why. I want to know how he's connected. In particular, I want to know how he's connected to the weird shit that's going on. Especially if he's dropping hints like, hey, I could easily just call the cops on you because, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so I mean, he feels threatened.
Like if he's dropping if he's dropping hits like that, I'm getting even more.
Yeah, so he knows that you're trying to press him. There's obviously something he doesn't want to say or allow you to know, but he's been very artful about how he dodges around it. And then he starts retaliating with dropping that. And he's obviously known that the entire time. He was just waiting for the opportunity where he needed to use it. So he's been very defensive. But yeah, he's too clever. He's not going to just give something up to you. And he's obviously got this card in his hand with you being wanted by the cops, and he obviously doesn't feel like he needs to give anything up because he has this card in play. But you sense you're onto him. He has something to do with this here.
All right, let's cut the bullshit. What do I need to do?
Whatever do you mean? I've already stated you're free to take your wife home if you wish. I would recommend you don't, because her well-being would be better served here under observation. But legally, there's nothing I can do to withhold her here, unless I felt that her life was threatened.
What do I need to do to make sure that she stays alive and healthy?
Once again, Mr. Rickaby, I would recommend that she stays right here, where we can see her.
Don't bullshit me. You're doing something to her, and
I promise you, Mr. Rickaby, I have not laid a finger on your wife. I have not brought any harm to her.
So what's in her?
There's a very definite, noticeable flinch in his facial movements as you bring that up.
What was in Nancy?
He looks to the sides as if there would be someone in the office with you both, and leans down forward with the brandy in his hand. Well, you were there, Mr. Rickaby. Surely you know what was in Nancy.
I'm gonna stand and kind of walk over towards the door like I'm about to leave. But I'm not saying anything. I'm just walking towards the door.
Perhaps you would like to give it a nice rest to sleep on it.
And that's whenever I lock the door and I turn right back around.
Okay, and do what?
Just going to make a very direct turn, a very brisk walk around his desk, and I'm going to grab him by the collar and hoist and like kind of throw him back first onto the desk, and I'm just gonna very silently stare at him and just say, "Don't scream, or else I'll kill you right now."
So you have trained in intimidation, yes?
Very much so.
Okay, roll those 2 dice.
Oh my god!
Yes, you grab him, and he has a lot of strength in him, a lot of resistance. But I mean, you've faced guys bigger and better shaped than him before, and you just topple him over and slam him on the desk. And he raises both his hands wide open. And what are you going to do, Mr. Rickaby?
I'm gonna ask you one last fucking time, and if I don't like the answer, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. Do you understand?
He just nods.
What's inside of her?
Perhaps you shouldn't be asking what, and perhaps you should be asking who.
Okay. Who?
I feel like, Mr. Rickaby, this is an explanation that would benefit from a display rather than an explanation. If you wouldn't mind, and he motions to his collar for you to let him go.
I'll tentatively just like hold him there and just very briefly squeeze even tighter, and or just press him down tighter. But then I'll let him go, and then immediately put like a hand over where my knife is.
I don't mean you any harm, Mr. Rickaby. There's no need for violence here. I promise you. And he like slowly gets up with his hands still, showing. And then he walks over to the cabinet where he pulled the brandy from. And he unlocks the door, opens it up, and then presses a panel that's inside of it and slides it open. And then pulls out a rectangular, dark greenish blue box. If I may. And he like sets it on the desk and turns around so it's facing you.
Sure.
He puts his finger under the latch and pulls his body a little bit back away from the box, and then with his finger flicks the latch. The box flies open and the whole room is just enveloped in pitch darkness.
I was gonna say I kind of wanted to move with him between me and the box, but
They step back a distance. Yeah, I mean, you could instinctively sort of take a step back.
yeah, if the whole room envelops in darkness, I'm pulling my knife and I'll take a swipe at whatever might be in front of me. Either it's him or it's whatever's coming. I don't know.
The room fills with darkness. You can't see anything, you can't hear anything, you can't feel your fingers, your knife, your clothes. There's a sort of pixelated static sort of sensation at the edge of your vision, and a sort of static fizziness that you can hear all around you. You rise up out of the building, above the city, into the stratosphere, and into the space beyond. You're surrounded by darkness and stars in the far, far distance, and each of those stars is singing out to you in a voice that you both recognise and have never heard before. Hundreds, thousands, billions of them, incessantly. And then they sort of crystallise and focus into one singular sort of sound, and it's Angela's voice. And then she just says your name, Roark. The darkness fades, the fizzling stops, the sort of pixelated, your vision goes back to normal. You can feel every sensation in your body all at once. You can feel the blood coursing through your veins, the twitching of your muscles, the breathing, and you're panting hard. Your body is covered in sweat, and the doctor is just standing with his arms crossed, smiling across the room from you. It's quite something, isn't it, Mr. Rickaby?
What was that?
That was just a taste. Just a sampling of what exists out there. And your wife, your blessed wife Angela, she carries a piece of it inside of her. Now, she's in no harm. No one in this hospital will lay a finger on her, I can assure you. But she must remain here. You see, it is growing inside of her. It needs her. And when the time is right, we will remove it from her.
And she'll survive?
You have my word.
I'll just very, very shakily and almost kind of clumsily, I guess, put the knife back where I put it. Kind of attempt to collect my composure, just kind of like straighten my jacket, and but I'm very much just stunned and shaken, and I'm just
Could you roll a dice for me? Because you've already got a lot of stress. Okay, you hold it together, you're okay.
yeah, it just yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, I'll thank you for your time, Doctor.
Of course, Mr. Rickaby. And he's at the door. The door's open, you're through the door, you're in the elevator. You're downstairs. You're signing a form. And now you're standing outside. It's nighttime. It's cool. Cold even. It's very quiet.
I think I just kind of almost instinctively look up and see if the stars are out. Yeah, or just looking up at the black sky.
Yes, it's a very clear night. And even though the lights of the city are bright and numerous, you can definitely see a handful of stars twinkling, and you can almost hear Angela's voice speaking down to you from them.
Yeah, I make my way back home.
So Gerta, you're at home getting ready for this choir, and you make your way down to Tin City to find Paul and Eric. Paul and Eric, by this time the cops have came, they've spoken to you, they've taken statements, and there is now a truck here with 2 men to take the body away. And Gerta, you arrive just as the men are loading this body into the back of the van.
Well, hello?
Do we still
What
have the
happened
whiskey
here?
jar with the fish?
You can have that if you want, yeah.
Yeah.
The cops aren't too interested in that. That's just some thing that's crawled inside of them, probably.
Hello, Gerta. Another body got washed up.
Oh, what happened?
He sort of wiggles the whiskey jar at her. This decided
that-
to have his lunch with him.
Is that the thing that Rourke said that he saw?
And he pauses for a moment and looks at it. There's a chance, I mean, I don't know exactly what he saw, but this thing erupted from a body, showering me and Eric, and sort of he points at all the stains of blood that's on him, you know, because he can't wash it all off. Just
Ooh.
so there's a chance that what Rourke saw was this, or whatever this is.
Oh my goodness. These are all covered in blood. His blood's yuck.
Well, he's managed to wipe most of it off by this time.
Well, I was just coming down to see if all of you wanted to go to the caroling service and get the free dinner. It's a good dinner.
Eric, Paul.
Would they let us in looking like this?
It's like Paul
Have
just
you got-
chuckles, like, I've got a change of clothes I can get changed into.
Okay, nice. You got a change of clothes, Eric?
I suppose I could break something together, sure.
You guys nip back into your cabins. Paul, you go in and your son's there with your wife and your daughter. It's like, Dad, what happened? Do the police need to speak to me? I can tell them what I found.
Oh, didn't worry. They told me that you did a fantastic job finding him. They were very chuffed with you. They said that they're going to give you a medal. I told them to give it to charity, that you're too good for a medal. And he winks at his son, trying to wind him up.
Fuck you.
Watch your tone. But he says it in an incredibly jovial way. Looks like he pauses for a moment. Looks like he drowned and some fish swam into him. And that's what done him in.
And Agnes is like, good God, Paul, don't say that in here.
Oh, sorry, dear. Just got too absorbed in it. You know, it's just seems to be the way the world is down here.
But the kids don't need to hear that kind of stuff. Goodness.
I do wonder. It's like side tangent. I do wonder if that's probably like a strong level of entertainment. Because, I mean, you only have, like, the one book, and it's a very poor area. It's like, oh, there's a dead body. Something interesting has happened.
Yes, I mean, anything interesting is going to be some sort of entertainment.
We've got a meal that we can go to. A friend Gerta is willing to take us to a church in the Swedish Quarter that's doing meals.
Oh,
So it'd be
okay.
nice to take us all there, get us out, enjoy something different, and enjoy a good hot meal.
Oh, well,
Save you from having to prepare something, Agnes.
yes. I mean, that sounds grand. We should be okay leaving the shack unattended, shouldn't we?
Paul sort of looks around and, remembers how Agnes said that they were mugged. It's like, still probably makes sense to take anything valuable with us.
She nods and then spends a minute remembering they don't really have anything that valuable. It's just emotional stuff.
I think he probably included that in the sort of the sentimental value rather than material value.
Yeah. Yeah, so they put on their Sunday clothes, which they would wear to church normally on the Sunday, in preparation for this. Gerta, you're kind of just like hanging outside with Eric while he's in the cabin talking to his family.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's not the most welcoming place to be standing around at night in the cold. There's definitely a chill in the air. And you can just, looking at Eric, you can just see the still sort of fresh blood on some of his clothes where he's missed wiping it off.
Yeah, I can imagine I would be in a bit of a state at this point.
Sure, Paul and his family will be ready in just a few minutes. Then you go to Eric's. I take it you're just changing your shirt or whatever, Eric.
Yeah, probably like fresh shirt and jumper if I've got something like that. That's probably about all I've got to my name, really.
I mean, I can imagine the journey on the trolley car up to Manhattan is probably quite subdued for the three of you.
Yeah.
It's a very quiet journey. We don't talk much.
It's Agnes will pipe up now and again, try to talk to Gerta, just small talk. The weather, how's your job? How do you know her husband?
Yeah, just Agnes being possessive.
Okay, so after eventually you get the trolley car up to Midtown Manhattan, and there's piles of people, going into the church already. You can hear the organ playing from out in the street. It looks very beautiful, almost Christmassy, with the sort of frost coming in from the cold and all these bright golden lights on the inside. So it's your church, Gerta. What are you doing?
Oh, I just start to introduce them to the father and to Hans.
Yeah, it's this big, cheesy, get-dopey looking guy that's playing the organ. He's like smiling, looking over at Gerta when she comes in.
That's Hans that plays the organ. That's the one that I wanted for a meal. And this is Father.
Father, if you've got him a name, Gerta.
Oh, just a lot of things have happened tonight, Father, that I'm just a bit frazzled.
Oh, well, get yourself settled and relax, and we'll see what we can do to help you unwind, yes? Welcome. It's always
Sounds
good
lovely.
to see new faces. Are you
These are
from the old country?
These are my friends. Eric is one of us.
I think being Norwegian, I guess I can't remember how it works. I think the two languages are quite similar.
They're very
with
similar,
Swedish. Yeah. I think I would probably be able to greet the father in I guess in Swedish. No?
Sure, yeah, you'll be able to greet in Swedish, certainly. And he's like, one of our cousins. You've retained your accent.
Yes, I've spent a long time at sea with our other countrymen, so
Very good. It's always good to have a fresh face here. Welcome. Glad to see you.
And Paul and his family are from Scotland.
Oh, very nice. I had visited Scotland once in the past previously. I spent a few weeks in Edinburgh.
That's actually where I'm from. It's good to hear that you know the capital well.
I wouldn't say I know it well, but I was very fond of the place. Yes, I had a good time there. Yes, so it's lovely to have you and your family here this evening.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Do we see that guy that was that paid for the funeral in here tonight?
Not when you're walking in, you're like looking down the pews, and you see a lot of familiar faces, but you don't see him, no.
Okay.
But you do know that Sven's funeral is tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So you all get in, the doors are closed, you sit down, and the father begins his sermon. Are you actually singing at one point, Gerta?
Yes.
So yeah, Gerta will get up, give her performance. As you're getting up, Gerta, and stand in line with everyone else to start the hymn, you see a man in the blue suit that you recognise from the other day, and he slips in at the side of the front door and just sort of stands at the back of the service.
Is he looking at anyone?
He does seem to be searching for someone as his eyes are looking around the room.
Do I catch his eye?
I mean, he'll look over in your direction, but yeah, his eyes don't settle on you. Yes, he is there. You sang 3 songs in total. No, I'd probably sing more than that. Probably 4 or 5 songs total. He leaves sort of halfway through. He doesn't stay for very long at all. He doesn't talk to anyone or interact with anyone while he's there. He just comes in, stands, looks around for a while, and then takes his leave.
Very odd.
The service itself is pretty unremarkable, but it's pleasant enough. The hymn's quite soothing for everyone. It's a nice service. It's a very positive sort of message about how harsh things are this time of year and about helping one another and how Easter's upcoming and all that kind of stuff. And Han seems like quite an accomplished organist for someone with big sausage fingers.
We head to the dining hall then.
But yeah, afterwards, when it ends and you're all escorted through, and what kind of does it discern? Is it like traditional Swedish dishes?
Yeah, it's
It's our stroming.
salmon and stuff. I said like it's a good meal, not meal, good meal. So
I'm picturing like IKEA meatballs, to be honest.
I think it's like salmon and nuts, isn't it, Han?
salmon and
Salmon.
things like that. Yeah, salmon, cheese. They eat a lot of cheese.
Yeah, so it's probably some sort of fish dish, but it's quite a hearty meal, very filling meal. And you are sat there, and the father's got a few seats down, and Hans is sat right beside you, Gerta, and he's like, "Hey, Gertie, you going to introduce me to your friends?"
Hey Hans, this is Eric, and Eric is Norwegian, and this is Paul. Paul and his family, and they are from Scotland.
"Oh, hello, it's really nice to meet you." And he stretches his hand out to shake. He's got his big, massive hand, Paul, that equals yours in size.
I'll happily take the hand and give it a good firm shake. It's a pleasure to be here.
As you're like shaking hands, his hands pulled out of his suit jacket sleeve a bit more than usual. Do you want to roll your occult skill for me, Gerta? 1 dice. Yeah, he has a small tattoo that you've never noticed on the back of his wrist before. It's kind of like halfway up his forearm. well, not as far as that, but a bit past his wrist. They would normally be obscured by his sleeve, but when he's shaking Paul's hand, it's stretched outwards and you notice it.
Perhaps you have a tattoo?
Oh, hides his wrist, looks around, it's like, not so loud, my father will hear you.
Where did you get that?
Oh, a friend encouraged me to do it on a whim.
Is this from your other group?
They might be.
Are they here tonight, some of the people?
Oh, no, they wouldn't cut something like this. No, they're far too fashionable for that.
Oh, okay.
I thought Emile was coming tonight, no?
Oh, Emile is she's been worked so hard at work, and she said she just wanted to relax tonight, so.
Oh, is she still sick?
She's better, but I think she just needs the sort of relaxation time.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess we'll just have to make up for it then.
You will have to introduce me to your group.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to take you and Emile along, but I'm not sure, Gerta, it's something you'd really approve of. I mean, you're quite how do I say this politely? A bit of a stickler.
I can be quite open.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind going along with an open mind, I mean, they're always welcome for new people.
I have a look at your tattoo.
Maybe later. I don't want my father to see it just now. I feel kind of silly being all rebellious and then being afraid to show it to him, but you know how he is.
Hans, are you able as well to give me and my friends a lift home?
Oh, yeah, sure, Gertie, that's no problem at all. Yeah, I don't have anything to do here, or I can put it off until later at least. Where is it your friends stay?
They stay in Tin City.
Oh, and he looks at Eric and Paul both and says, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't realise. That must be really hard for you guys down there."
It has its ups and downs.
There is a strong sense of community, as difficult as it is to get by there.
Oh, I know what you mean. I've just recently found a community of sorts. It really does wonders for your confidence, to be able to just like be yourself around people, just to open up and have that sort of support all around you. I know exactly what you mean.
It's nice, Hans, that you have found a supportive group of people.
It's like puts a mouthful of fish in his mouth and he just nods his head.
But you have a supportive group of people here. You know, you have people that like you.
Oh, definitely. But you know, there's a lot of people here are kind of set in their ways, and I don't know. I've never felt like I really fitted in properly.
So what do they do? The group of people.
Oh, all sorts of jobs. Yeah. There's one man who's doing stocks and shares on the market. There's another who's a butcher. There's quite a few guys who are like drivers. People from all different walks of life. I mean, it's really nice sense of, you know, they don't care how rich or poor you are. They don't care what your background is. I mean, there's even people of colour there, which you don't get in our church very often.
I think that's very nice.
Oh, it really is. It's a wonderful place, wonderful group of people. Yeah, I mean.
So
there you go.
do you meet up, once or twice a week, or?
It can depend. It's not that regular, and it tends to, we tend to meet up in different locations, for various reasons. I'm not. I think there will be one this week, but I'll have to get back and let you know.
Oh, that would be nice.
But yeah, I'd love to take you along if you're up for it.
Can I roll intuition in case to see if there's any sort of bad will?
Sure. You've got understanding, so 2 dice. No, I mean, Hans always seems 100% genuine, and he doesn't seem like he's lying or obscuring anything beyond a sort of like embarrassment and worry about his dad, not being comfortable with whatever it is he's doing. But I mean, this is also similar to Emil, that you're feeling that they're kind of exploring other parts of life, do you know what I mean? And breaking out of the mold that they've been in.
Gert is left behind a wee bit.
A little bit.
Do we notice anything different in the dining hall? Is there anything?
No, I don't think there has been anything different. You can see some of the stuff that's been laid out in preparation for tomorrow. Somebody's paid for like the full service tomorrow. There's all these flowers that are stacked up. You can see various decorations that have been laid out in preparation, so that, because it's going to be first thing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m, so that they can just like get them thrown up right away. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's nothing unusual. So yeah, I mean, I guess you're there, you'll have your meal, it's very pleasant, it goes by without a hitch. You come out, and then Hans will take you on it's not a very long drive back down the road afterwards. But I mean, it's always the same kind of feeling for you guys after you've been somewhere that's warm and there's a lot of people around, and they've all got lives to go back to, and then you guys are always coming back here, and it's just that feeling of trepidation, the lowering of your spirits. It's not a place that's pleasant to come home to.
Does Hans drop me off first, or does he drop them off first?
Do you want him to drop you off first?
Yes.
Yeah, so you just get back, and it's a reasonable time you get back, like 9 o'clock or something like that. And Emil is not back. Emil does not come back in time for curfew either.
That girl, honestly, I'm going to my bed.
Yeah, I mean, you'll just settle down for the night as normal. The same, Paul, Eric, you guys get back. You've got a full stomach this night, so that's pretty good. You've got money in your pocket that you didn't need to splash out for anything for tonight. I mean,
Always a winner.
I mean, all things considered, it's been a pretty good day for you both, apart from somebody's guts, exploding in your face.
Yeah, there is that.
I assume you three are all going to Sven's funeral the next day. I won't do that just now, but...
Yeah.
Okay, right, well, next session we'll pick up, like, on the Tuesday morning when you're going to the funeral. And take it from there. And see if Rocky has anything to tell you. I don't know if you'll go to the funeral. I wouldn't think so. But yeah, that's ran on long enough tonight, I think, anyway.
We got to see our first monster.
Yeah.
Well,
That went
second
surprised.
time.
Yeah, you both did. As in, Swindle and you guys.
So, I mean, everyone except Gerta has came across creepy stuff so far. But when I was talking to Laura about making sure she got some heavy, creepy stuff happening, she was like, "No, I just want investigation." That's not.
I want to play CSI Tin City. I don't want to
Yeah.
play occult horror.
I haven't avoided giving her spooky stuff because of that. It's just the way it's worked out. But yeah.
Was the caroling that sort of put you off?
What, giving you spooky stuff? Well, you weren't with them when they found the body, and you weren't with Rickaby when he went to the hospital. If you went either of those places with them, you know, you would have been there when stuff happened. But otherwise, you just got to wait for things to happen. I have things that are going to happen, so you can't avoid it forever.
I can, I can see something happening to Emil. Not even Emil. I'm thinking like the hold hands thing. Honestly, he's too.
He's just
too
got a
trusting.
group of friends that he's having a time with.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why you would be so you're just like Gerta. You're so judgy.
But
He
like
is
it was
ready.
just completely unrelated, you know. It wasn't anything to do with the cult or anything. You just, you know, met some nice people and had a tattoo done.
Exactly. Oh, I mean, when you're in the car and he's dropping you off and you ask for him to show you tattoo, he'll show you tattoo, and it's like a little black circle with a 5-pointed red star in the middle.
Oh, that's pretty sus, isn't it? Was that not like the what's called the fish thing that had the 5 heads?
I don't recall a fish thing with 5 heads.
Well, the organic matter with the 5
Oh, it had
heads.
5
was
tentacles? Yes, it did.
Yeah. Suspicious. Well, she doesn't know that yet, does she? That it had the 5, or did they tell her it had the 5 tentacles? I didn't hear them say.
Don't really have much of an opportunity to talk to you alone.
Yeah, I think probably we would have tried to keep the worst of the details from Gerta anyway. You know, we wouldn't want to like make her unduly upset over it.
I thought Swindle's, you know, his stuff was quite super scary, wasn't it, as well? Like, when the room went dark, I thought that was quite freaky. He always gets the sort of super scary stuff, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
I feel as if he walks into it as well.
Yes. I also like Paul shoving Eric, like, Eric, you get the pole, I'll cover you.
I think it was more that it was to give Eric something. Like, okay, Eric, you get a stick and poke it, I'll keep an eye on it, kind of thing.
But it just reminded me when they went to the basement and she was like, "Here, Alan, take my flashlight." It's like, why me?
So funny. It really is the Scooby Gang, isn't it?
I feel like we need a van.
We do, definitely. It's Swindle to get, like, the van next time he can splash for cash.
Well, I mean, if we do enough campaigns, we would get to 1977. You could definitely have a van, 1977 or 66. The Mystery Machine. Right, I'm gonna get off, man. I need to get a
Indeed.
drink.
I'm off to go sleep. Or get
Cool,
lie down
yeah.
in bed.
Good game, guys. Thanks.
See you
Bye.
guys.
Cool.
See you later.
Cheers.